And now it's just gonna raid in. So sit tight, you guys. You'll be right there. He will no longer stream IDV. No. That's not what I said. I said I won't be here for the next 2 weeks. When I do stream after I get back, I will be streaming IDV, but I will also have just chatting segments that follow it. Oh no. Tomorrow's just. I mean, like, I'll be gone for 2 weeks because I'm on vacation. But you'll have a video front-loaded every single day while I'm out. Okay. And now we wait for the guys. We'll miss you, Uncle. I'll miss you guys too. Don't forget about us. I should be saying that line. That's my line. It's gonna be so sad. I'll try to do like mini talk-alongs while I'm there. I don't know, just to keep engagement up with chat. I'll try to like post as much as I can, chat as much as I can in the Discord server. Yeah. We will forget about us. No, I will never. I'm not leaving. Can't breathe? What's wrong, Sir Hey? Yeah, TikTok I'll leave you guys on. Could the anchor be a Chinese Canadian? 不是，我就在美国。Hi fake fans, I was shocked when I heard Chinese suddenly. Hi, 早上好。我住在美国。哇。Looks like I'm late. 我们第5人格刚刚玩好了，然后现在我们在看这个新的游戏，是叫Ashes of Creation， 中文的名字我不知道。But let me change the partition over to if you guys want to hang around. But I just want to say I'll be on vacation for a little bit, so I won't be here for a little while. For those of you who just followed, I'm really sorry about that. But I typically stream every day except for Fridays. I don't know if I'm even going to be streaming on the 11th because that. Oh, you know what? I will. I'll try to do it on the 11th, but I'm probably not going to do it on the 10th, which is a Friday. Yeah, I'll try to stream on the 11th and 12th, but no guarantee that I'll be all there just yet. A jet lag worth of 15-hour time difference is a little bit much for me. Even if I could, like, maybe we'll do a horror game on the side as well. I'm not going to have anything prepared, unfortunately. I'm probably just going to sleep for a long time. I tend to sleep for quite long. Let me just see where the other guys are at and if they would like to do this still. If they're doing other stuff too, we can figure it out.
For everyone to corral in, I guess we can hop in call.
Hello, Meow.
Hi, Hikawu.
How's it going?
It's good.
How should we do this? Should I share my screen?
How shall we? Yeah, that would probably work.
Okay. How's your day going?
Pretty good. I just woke up like 40 minutes ago and I got coffee.
Ooh, I should get coffee too. I just had my IDV session. We only lost 1 game. We went 7-6-1. That's kind of a crazy session.
It is. Wait, that's a lot of games too in a short session. Your queue times must have been like 15 seconds.
Yep. I mean, it's about right though. For Sack and Griffin, or Upper Griffin Alicorn, that's about right.
Peak timing. Because it's still like early season, so a lot of people are still like turbo climbing.
Yeah, I'm already Alley 4.
Sheesh.
But
That
I'll
is gaming.
be behind once I leave.
Right. 2 weeks behind. You're still gonna hit peak tier, don't even matter.
Yeah. It's just a matter of timing.
That's right. If someone said Hikaru's standing on business, you're gosh darn right. He's always standing on big business. Especially in IDV.
Maybe the new Lord thing will be out too. They're doing the Spirit Blossoms event, and I think the newest two heroes were Yasuo and Kindred, and I was like, I don't understand how the Yasuo one works. And then the Kindred one is like, I think the Kindred one's really cool, but Yasuo one's kind of stupid looking.
I haven't seen his card effects since I don't actively play Path of Champions, but I did look at the Kindred one because some other people were interested in her too, and yeah, she's really cool. I like what they did with her. She's sick.
It's you can't be actively killed or anything. That's so crazy.
And she's just like a constant threat, you know? I feel like she's meant to be a control deck. And that is so up your alley because I know you like control.
It's so funny. The AI doesn't know how to target it, so I went up against one of the Gloom ones, and then she just kept stacking Gloom on him. And even if you Gloom him like 100, she's still there.
Yep.
That's so stupid.
She's like Thanos, bro. I am inevitable.
Yeah, she's a 0/1, can take anything.
She's cracked.
Oh, I forgot to bring up the chat for the YouTube one. Pop it out really quick. Here we go. Where's Anju?
Probably Big Eeps.
No
Nope,
way.
We're playing Apex up until like 5:30 in the morning yesterday.
Yeah, but that's like 8 hours from now.
I'll defend the 8-hour sleeper.
I feel like Anju does sleep less than it. He sleeps less than that, but he naps. He's a napper.
What a...
Did you guys get diamond though?
No.
Oh,
Like 60 off.
I can't believe this. I love napping. I wish I could nap. I have trouble napping.
Is today's video a new video?
Yep. It's literally, they're still live right now. We're just watching that behind. I'm missing out. By the way, if you go on their thing and you type on their code in, like they're giving away keys on their stream live too. So if you want to grab a key, you should type the thing. Yeah, they used to do this a long time ago. Like, a lot of different websites did this, or games. That's your cue, Mao. You gotta get one too.
Where do I get my key?
You probably have to.
It's Ashes of Creation September.
You probably have to type something in on their live stream. So hold on.
I don't have any.
I don't know yet. Maybe they haven't announced it, but we're gonna start watching it.
Yeah, just type Giga Chad.
Yeah, something like that.
No context.
All right, you ready?
You guys like the new Twitch VOD thing?
The push VOD? Oh yeah, you can like rewind your own stream now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
You mean that thing YouTube has had forever?
That's what I was saying.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I don't know where Anju is, but do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Mao, you go first.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Tempo Mao. I'm a Demon Lord VTuber and also part of Hysteria. I like to play competitive games and also social deception games like Lockdown Protocol. Used to be a big fan of Among Us back in the day, that kind of stuff.
Hello, my name is Corvus Kuro. I'm a crow vampire VTuber. I usually play League or Apex, so I'm not like a huge MMO kind of person. I've dabbled. I've tried like what's it called? I've tried like Black Desert or
Lost Ark.
Lost Ark. Yeah, I played some Final Fantasy. But I've seen some bits and pieces of Ashes of Creation. It looks a lot different. So
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not big on MMOs. Names 3 MMOs.
I know, but I didn't like it. It's not like a long time game that I play.
Yeah.
But I didn't go too super deep into those kind of games.
If you haven't played Arcade, then this game is probably nothing like any of the other ones because it's very, very different from all those other things.
Mm.
So I know I've gotten Mao into it recently, who is interested into the game. Kuro, I think I showed you a video and you seem interested. And then this is an update that they do every single month about new systems that they're developing or updates to the game. It currently is in live service right now in Alpha 2 Phase 3. It's expected to last about a year, and then they said it was going to follow with 2 short betas. And by the time they release, or by the time they go out of Alpha 2, they are said to be feature complete, not necessarily content complete. And what that means is that all the major systems are going to be in the game, but maybe the entire map is going to be revealed. So the way that, like, you know how World of Warcraft has like map expansions, like when they make their, like, Burning Crusade had the Outlands, stuff like that, and they might do something like, here's like the giant 2 continents, and then they release like the northern continent, they release the undersea continent later on. Not exactly sure how they're going to do it, but they do have quite a bit of space in here. I know that I did a video about running from one side of the map to the other on the core basic mount, and it took me about a little over an hour to do. And that's not including the most northern point, that's not including any waters, any like water place, and that was like cutting from one straight area to the other, like walking in a straight line. So I didn't necessarily follow the road either. And yeah, do you guys want to hop right into the video? I don't know where Anju is, but hopefully he'll join us later on, I think.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
down.
Yep, and this will go on our Hysteria RPG channel once we finish recording it. I'm just going to do like some minor editing depending on what's going on, and then I will post it afterwards. So this part's probably going to be cut out. Are you ready? We go.
For a development update, we
Let
hope
me know if
that
you can hear
everyone
it.
has been well and safe as per usual.
Yep, sounds good on my end.
I'm your director
Oh,
of
that's good.
communications here at Intrepid Studios, and with me, as
Let me know if you
always,
want me
is
to
the
pause
one,
it.
the only Stephen
Okay.
Sharif, our creative director, who is wearing like a very nice sash tonight.
No.
You got like a mage look going.
This is my blanket. It's kind of cold. We're approaching October here. It's getting a little chilly.
In California.
It is.
Really?
It really is. Yes. It dips into the 60s. That's too
I
cold
feel
for
like San
Californians.
Diego is like 70 and perfect all the time.
I don't know. I mean,
I-
that's the problem with being in California is that you're accustomed to the 70s always. So when it starts to dip into the 60s or 50s, that's just like too cold.
My husband and I, one time, we were in like one of those like malls that are outdoor, and everyone was like wearing jackets and everything, and
We
we
could
were wearing like
probably
shorts and tank tops. We're like,
1.5.
is there something that we don't?
Yo, I
know?
see
Is it gonna
people
be some
with
kind of cold
with
front?
that haircut
Because
all the
he's in San Diego in
time.
the
Do
fall,
they
but
like
yeah,
put
it's fine.
oil in their hair, or is it
Anyways,
just like naturally like that?
welcome to our live
This?
stream. We hope that
I
you
don't
guys
know.
are
Yeah.
welcome. It might be
Product.
a long one, but we
It's
also
like a gel.
needed to stay on time because we have a big leadership meeting that's happening at 1 p.m. Pacific, so we will be cutting off at that time frame no matter what.
Oh.
But as you can see below, we have a whole slew of amazing things to go over. We are going to talk about some reminders, summoner preview. I know that a lot of you guys are excited about that. Harbinger system design, sports fishing sneak peek, and a community feedback. We know there's been some hot topics that people have wanted to talk about. We're going to talk about them here, and a little live Q&A if we can get to that.
I
So
kind of
hopefully
want
we
to
have time
hear
for
about that
We'll try to
too.
keep people on
The
track.
drama.
But of
There's
course,
so
don't
much
forget our
drama in
YouTube
the game
spotlight.
already.
YouTube spotlight for our subscribers.
It's fun.
Don't forget that if you subscribe to us on YouTube and you make sure that you're
It's fun
still
for those of
subscribed
us who are
publicly, because there's, like,
watching.
two different
If
things,
you're
it's very weird.
involved, it sucks.
And you leave a comment on our full development update, you may get selected. And this one today is from Dead Hipster. I think it's supposed to be it's Leet Speak, but they have noted, I think I'll only play Ashes
Yeah,
for
see
the
you
fishing
later,
if they do it
Saray.
right. I'm excited for that. So
You
Steven, you got
gotta
no pressure.
rest.
But to be fair, we have often said on the team working on this that this is a game in and of itself. I mean, that is ultimately what MMOs are, right? A bunch of games pushed into one. And the fishing game that we're
Mhm.
building, I think, is definitely going to be compelling. If you were only interested in fishing, that this loop kind of has everything you need to progress within Ashes. So excited to showcase this today. I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised knowing that this is coming up literally in less than 2 months now for November. But it's going to be exciting. Huge
Yeah.
revamp.
And we'll be showing progress.
I love
So
fishing.
obviously this time we'll be talking
Same.
about
I
the designs,
know.
and then in the future ones you may see more stuff. So like
Fishing's
we'll
been done
continue to show
so
progression
many
as we move
times in
forward.
so many
But let's
games.
get
I
through
feel like
reminders
the
really quickly so
recipe
we
is
can get to
there.
the good
Mhm.
stuff.
All they have to do is
We
copy
have
like
some
what's
upcoming
good,
release information
put it
for you.
in.
For
People
those
love
of you
it.
who have been joining us on PTR, we
Yep.
did start PTR testing this week again for our next update, which is version
I got to
6.16.
level
So
100
those of you who have been helping us, we
fishing
super
in
duper
like
appreciate it. Thank you so
the
much.
first
There are a bunch of bug fixes that are coming in with that. This
the
Saturday
first
at
arc
1
of
p.m.
Final
Pacific,
Fantasy.
we will be having a settlement war.
Damn,
We got a
okay.
lot of
This is
RCPs for
probably
hopefully
different
all
kind
show
of
up.
fishing
We are
than you
hoping that we
think.
can maybe get through 2 during that time frame, and we'll get a lot of data for our team based on some of the changes that we've made.
There's
We
no
also
exclusive
have
spells
Summoner
for
coming to
fishing.
PTR on September
Grr.
No,
30th.
there
We know
are,
folks are really
but
excited
like
about that. I
it's.
do want to put a caveat here.
Wait,
That
I don't
this
think they
is
do
not going to
that.
be part of the
Oh, I
0.16
remember
update, but
actually.
we are going
Sports
to do some
fishing
early
in
testing, and not
Final
all of the
Fantasy
things
was a
are
little different.
perfect. So just keep in mind, even between our QA and our development branches, because we have different environments, there's some differences there. So just keeping in mind that. And like I noted before, we do have a
They had to
version 60
open
coming up
a
in early October. We'll let you guys know
whole
more about that
chart
as that's
or
coming
table.
online.
Oh,
I just
they
have to
said they're
mention that there's a lot of bug
copying
fixing and things of that
arcade
sort.
fishing.
If you are
That's
checking out our
perfect. If
PTR,
they
we
just
did
did
provide a
that,
little
I'm
teaser of
already
what's to come
happy.
in
So.
0.16.
Yes, and to be clear, we previously had announced that the summoner playtesting would be done on PTR October 7th, but we're moving that date up so we can get earlier feedback. Obviously, as Margaret said, that means that some of the visuals there are not going to be totally complete. There's going to be lots of bugs, balance issues that we're going to be addressing. But this allows us to get you guys hands on quicker so that we can address the bigger issues before its release.
Yeah. And then we also have our dev discussion. Archetype vibe check is still up. If you haven't gotten your chance to leave feedback over there, please do. If you already did, thank you so much. We will be doing a report on that, but we wanted to grab all of that. Our next topic is going to be on the summoner. What aspect of the summoner are you most looking forward to? So it'll be a little teaser.
Oh,
into
they
the
get their
summoner,
icon.
and we
It's
will
this one
have
right
a whole
here.
slew of questions for you on that front, as well as we'll talk a little bit about that
Those
in
are
the summoner
nice.
preview that we're about to go
Mhm.
into here. But before we do that, we do have just a
Wait, what
reminder
is
about the
this?
creator program.
These
We
are the
will be having
classes
applications
and how you
soon,
mix
so if
them.
you haven't already
Oh.
applied, make sure that you applied. We're currently in the application phase. We will be closing that while we get through the final applications. We have been reviewing those. We got through all of the ones
Okay,
that were
they've been
previously submitted,
saying
so thank
this
you
for
so
like
much. But as some
years.
late bloomers come in and trickle in, we will be going through those as
I'm
well. Like I said before, we
so
will be replying to every single person. So long
please.
as you gave us the correct contact information, and we will be letting you know whether you make it into the program or not. Again, that is, we're aiming towards November timeline for that, but it kind of depends on where we are in development. Once we open that floodgate, it is a lot. So we just want to make sure that we're doing it at the right timeline for us.
Can I just say that I loved that graphic that you had there with all of the archetypes and that kind of circular?
Yeah,
there?
I like that
was
asset too. Mike
cool.
did such a good job with that one. I was like, I really like this
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
What is the
That's a good
top
one.
Really
left?
yeah, Mike did a
This
great
is
job with this. I love the
summoner.
iconography
I think
that
this
Natalie,
is
put together with these
mage.
archetypes.
That's
Sorcerer
sorcerer
for
for
the
sure.
icons.
Color
Yeah,
composition looks good.
mage,
Yeah,
bard,
absolutely.
rogue,
It looks
cleric,
excellent.
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta have
ranger,
one, like we need
tank,
to have an event where it
fighter,
uses that,
summoner.
and then you have one of each archetype stand on it, and it glows like that. That'd be sick.
How cool is it? Oh, absolutely, 100%. How cool is it
Are
to
there
know
subclasses?
that in a very
Yes.
short period of time,
The
you
way they
have
work
all
is
the
you
archetypes?
mix
Oh
one of
my
these, the
gosh,
primary ones, with
that's a long
another
time
one,
coming.
and it creates a
Yeah.
new
Who would have
class.
sunk it?
Yeah. I
So
know
there's
it's
Oh.
exciting since this has
64
been
different
your
combinations
little
total
baby
because
from
it's an
fruition.
8x8
Oh.
grid.
Exciting.
Exactly.
Last but not least, we have our career career page stuff. We are hiring. If you
That's
know
kinda
somebody who
cool.
would fulfill one of these roles, we are looking for these
Yeah.
roles to fill. So please send them our way. But if you also know someone who's talented and they fit not
I
one
think
of
it's
these
one of the
roles,
big
please drop
selling
them to apply. There is
points.
a general
I remember
application as
watching
well
a
on our site.
massive video like
With
years
that,
and
if
years
you
ago,
will
like,
switch over
oh,
to
why
the summoner
Ashes of
preview. But
Creation is
before we
going
go
to
to
be
that
a
video,
big
let's give
game.
people their
I'm
giving
pretty sure like
classes
most
on
people
that
have
front,
seen it.
but this will give you a little
And
insight into kind of like
the
the
guy
overview
talked
of
briefly about the
archetype
class
and
system. I'm like, okay, I'm
some
sold.
key goodness.
Yeah, I really
talking
hope
about we're gonna show
they
the
do a
summoner
good
video?
job balancing everything
Yeah.
because
Right now? Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
that many
Yes, let me give
classes,
you some prefacing. So,
it's gonna be rough.
obviously,
How are they
this is
gonna
the
how are they
last
gonna
of
make
the
a art
archetypes to be
like
stood
a
up from a functional
assassin
standpoint.
healer?
Obviously, this is not, the level 50 version
Well,
of our
they could do
archetypes. This is up
like
to level 25.
lifesteal
This is going to be its
probably
first
off of
iteration
that.
in a public
It'll
playtest
probably be like
perspective.
lifesteal
That means
heavy.
there's going to be bugs. It means it's a work in progress. It means that balance is going to be off. Compositionally with other archetypes, you can expect that it's going to take some time for us to refine that. So when people say, man, this
Summoner
archetype is
rogue.
busted, remember that we told you it's going to be a little busted to
Oh,
start.
that'd be
How
fun.
busted is when you're in an active development, in an active alpha, things that come
That'd be
out
cool
as
if they
fresh
did
features
Some
or
that.
Jin
new
Woo over
content is
here.
going to be
I
busted. Expect
know.
that. Relay that information to your fellow testers.
Andrew.
However, it's a lot of fun, and it is a very very different
Hi,
archetype
Anju.
because it utilizes
Well,
primarily
well,
a pet as your
well.
primary combatant. So this is important. I think a lot of us know what summoners entail and what we were trying to achieve from a feeling, from a class fantasy perspective with this archetype. And I think the team has done a phenomenal job in hitting that mark on its initial debut. So very excited for you guys to get your hands on it and break all the things so that we can go back and
We're
fix all the
watching
things.
1.5
But yeah,
because
enjoy
we're
this early
behind.
teaser, what you will soon be experiencing on the PTR come September 30th.
And don't come at me. I try to be less
Oh my
robot, okay? I'm not an AI, okay?
Hello.
Everyone always says my
I didn't even
videos are-
realize, I'm not gonna lie, that we were on 1.5.
I know.
I thought I was like.
I realized like the first few months I watched it, they talk like very
Hello,
slow and
glorious adventurer. Today we are
concise.
taking our first look at the Summoner
Oh,
archetype
let
and
me
Ashes of
slow it
Creation.
down.
Keep in mind, Alpha 2 is in an early testing phase, and everything you see
It
here
sounds
is
so much
subject to
slower, right?
change.
It sounds like it's in
Mhm.
slow mo.
Now it's in
The Summoner
slow-mo.
is all about commanding powerful spirit companions to fight by your side. The Guardian is your stalwart defender, specializing in holding threats, soaking up damage, and disrupting enemy positions. Its key ability is Stomp, which deals AoE damage and generates high threat on everything it hits. The Hunter is your striker, dishing out damage at both range and melee. Its key ability, Eviscerate, is a brutal single target strike that hits even harder if you position yourself behind the target. And finally, the Mystic, your magical support vessel. It can heal, shield, and provide AoE damage.
Dude, they're
Bro,
jack
don't
of all
get Mao on
trades.
this trade.
ability,
Don't get
recreate,
Mao on
heals
this.
an
He's
ally,
gonna be
and
distracted
positions
all
it
day.
with a group of other
I was about to say
special
wood.
creatures.
You want to know why?
The
These look like the
Summoner uses a
Atronachs from
special
Elder
resource called
Scrolls.
Essence.
I like how to
Essence
do.
is generated passively through your weapon combos and from your vessel's basic attacks. You'll spend Essence to command your vessel to unleash powerful abilities. The Summoner's Kit combines damage over time, area damage, and resource management. Start by applying Spirit Shred, a single target damage over time spell that also generates Essence. Follow it up with Mortal Blast, a powerful AoE that spreads Spirit Shred to nearby enemies for maximum efficiency. Use Hex to place a ticking debuff on enemies. Every action that shortens its timer brings you closer to a big damage detonation that resets its cooldown. When you
Solid.
need to
Oh, that's
sustain
cool.
yourself, spend Essence
This
on
is very
extract vessel
by the
to
book
transfer
summoner
health from your
slash
active
warlock.
vessel to
I
new,
know.
or siphon
Very
vessel
nice.
to full mana instead, keeping you in the
I
fight
actually
longer
like this a
without needing to
lot.
Stop and rest.
There's the Summoner
Whether
and
you
Blade
prefer
and Soul kind
tanking
of did
with the
something
Guardian,
similar.
striking from the shadows with the Hunter, or supporting your team with the Mystic, the
The
Summoner offers a
Summoner.
flexible, commanding
What
playstyle.
the heck?
Explore this archetype and many more on Vera now. Don't forget to slash bug any issues you encounter and leave the
All
team
of
your
that
feedback
variety
in
is
the
just
box
summoner
over
main. Now imagine throwing a subclass into that.
forums.ashesofcreation.com.
Like there's so much possibility.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what, like, because they're supposed to augment your existing abilities. So, like, dipping into Summoner, I think would be really cool too.
Seems like
It's all a matter of
Yeah.
seeing, like, where you
So
get the
far,
extra
I saw someone
mobs.
say Rogue's dead, Summoner's new.
Oh no, I'm waiting for the entire server now to roll Summoner.
Oh yeah, every time we do an update with something, everyone's playing it. So
It
it'll
looks
be,
good, though.
Let's see, 8 summoners in one group, but there are different playstyles. So you could have one being the tank, kind of, and try it. I don't know how successful it'll
You
be.
need
but
to
we'll see.
make a new
Obviously,
account
we are
to
going
play
to have
another
that discussion up for Summoner.
No,
Let
you
us
can
know
have
which,
up to like
vessel
5
stood
or
out
6
the most to you. Which one
characters.
did you like the most? Did the Summoner's gameplay look fun or confusing
On
to
one
follow?
account.
Was it clear what the vessels were doing?
Is it
in
like
combat?
shared
And did
inventory?
any ability or moment make you want to try the Summoner?
No.
As well as based on what you saw,
They all
would
have
you play
their
this
own.
archetype? So kind of let us know what you're thinking, what your thoughts are, and obviously those of you on PTR are going to get your hands on this. Do note PTR is under visual NDA, so you will not be able to share any visuals of that, but you can talk about your experience, so that is okay.
And I do want to comment, like, remember that this is our base archetype system. So long-term intent and what we are continuing to develop against is that you can combine your base archetypes together to create one of 64 classes. In the Summoner's case, this is going to be very influential. Some of those class combinations will determine the visual appearance of your summon. So those summons will conform
That's
to
cool.
thematically relevant class fantasies of those class names. So right now, what you're seeing with these summon types is essentially these pets that reflect a more neutral, kind of unformed, purely essence originating spirits, and then as you define that class further through the combination, you will get more class fantasy specific summon
Yeah.
pets.
So if you go like
Exciting.
rogue
And I know
as your
y'all will have questions
subclass,
about it, so
they might
just,
put on like
feel
a
free to
cloak.
send them our way. We'll get through them
That's
eventually.
cool.
And with that, we're going to
I
switch
see
over
what
to
they're
our
saying.
next segment, which is a big one. This is going to be the one that we're going to stick around for quite a bit here. It's a pretty large
There'll be like
system that
visual
we're gonna be talking
details
about.
on
So
your
we're going to talk about
summons
the
based
Harbinger
on
system
what
design,
else you
which
dip
is going to
into.
be
That's
our
really
first
cool.
foray
Yeah.
into the big
Like
story arc.
visually
So, we
and
do want to bring in a
combat
whole slew of
wise,
folks with
I
us.
feel like
So
they
we're going to go
nailed
to a quick
it.
break screen and bring them on,
Yeah.
and we will see you all
Oh,
shortly.
balancing is gonna be like a huge headache in the future, I feel like. Like if you're having a one of 64 classes, that would be insane. There's gotta be like a tier list of like what combo is stronger.
I mean, when they come out, I'm making that tier list. So
Yeah, so what are your thoughts, Kuro? Hands microphone. What do you think's gonna be broken?
Well, I think I don't know. I feel like usually cleric classes are OP, right? I feel like any class with a cleric combination is gonna be not bad.
Yeah.
Like something
There's
with
always some
healing.
kind of like super tank, unkillable demon cleric combo, like cleric and something, you know, and you just cannot die.
Yeah,
Wait.
either you min max survivability, or you
Mhm.
min max damage, or you min max
There-
healing.
There've been PvP showcases and like large group scale fights that actually I think are relatively well balanced. The only class that is like stands out really a little bit, and I think it's the Bard. Because they go by the Trinity in this game, tank, healer, DPS, but it also applies to PvP
Ooh, we've got
pretty
quite a
hard.
few faces here, some of which you may have seen or heard before. I believe
Oh,
we definitely
this is
had,
the longest part.
Bill
Hold on.
on before.
We can talk
so
about
welcome
more
back,
of that
Bill.
later.
We also have Scott, which I think you've been on a couple
Yeah,
of them
Scott's been
before as
on.
well, but maybe
Absolutely.
not visually. You've been
Not on
on.
camera, yeah.
No, yeah. So you want to say hi to folks? Let people know what you do again.
Hello, everybody. I'm a narrative designer on the team.
And Brian, we've had you join us before. A lot of Siege goodness, but if you want to talk,
Yeah,
more
I think
about who you
Mage is
are,
gonna go
again, just so
crazy
folks get
with
a
it
refresher.
too, you know. But I think
Oh,
Mages
you
right now
first?
are like kind of in a weird spot.
You were working in the test, but not now.
Only thing I'll share citizenship.
Is your mic not
Oh,
down?
they share citizenship. I did not know that.
That hurt too.
That's probably right though.
Got it.
Oh man, the classic. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm a senior designer on the team. Bounce around, help on different stuff. Worked on a lot of combat stuff in the past and Siege, but I've been helping with the narrative side of things, getting this event stood up.
And we have a new face, Terrence. Terrence, if you don't mind telling people what your role is here and what you do and what that means here. And I'm going to ask you a couple extra questions since you're kind of a new face.
Sure, not a problem. Hello, everybody. My title is lead content designer, and basically I'm kind of a wrangler, and I try to empower and help the two other sub leads. That would be the lead narrative designer, which is Scott, and then the lead world designer, which is Jeremy, who's not on stream. Basically, I just try to communicate goals across a whole bunch of teams and try to get our quality up to the level that it needs to be.
Love that. Tell us a little bit about your history in game development for those people who don't know what you've done.
Yeah, sure. Well, if people can't tell on camera, I'm an old person, so I've been in the games industry for
He doesn't
about,
look old. He's
25
Asian
over
old.
25 years now. I started on like PlanetSide 1, so
Or he's
probably
Asian
that was
old.
before some of you may have been born. I don't know. I moved on to EverQuest, so that's an old school MMO.
Anywhere
Did
from
some
like
time there,
25
and
to
I've just
40.
been doing a lot of various MMO development since then. The last thing that I worked on was actually at Amazon. I was kind of a marketing and publishing producer for Throne and Liberty.
Terrence was my lead when I was a game designer, when I first became my first game design role.
Yo,
so it was kind
Tomo,
of
welcome
cool to
in.
see him join, and probably interesting for you to see me.
Yeah, I know it is.
My little fledgling associate designer position.
Yeah, I remember you joining us. Yeah, as a associate designer on Free Realms. That was a really fun project. I hope it was fun for you.
It was
definitely
super fun for me.
Yeah, that was.
It was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Tell us what your favorite MMO experience is.
Yes, I'm American. Hey, welcome in,
one that
Alicia.
stands out to me that I really enjoyed was actually when I first started working on EverQuest, and I made like a mini raid, and I did a zone design, and I had the chance to let the players sort of jump into.
Let's
playtest.
fast forward this.
That was a very fun experience just to be able to bring it to fruition. The Harbinger story arc is essentially our first fully playable version of a story arc, and really is a key step in bringing a truly dynamic world to you folks. One where you folks just aren't adventurers, but you folks are literally guardians of the realms. These are massive, and I do mean massive world scale invasion events where players, you succeed or you fail, and if you fail, then there's consequences to that, and the corruption will spread, and we can get more into that. But first of all, what are Harbingers? And so for that, I'll toss that over to Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Terrence. Sound like a newscaster. I can do a Harbinger report. The Harbinger invading everybody.
Harbinger's live on the ground from Harbinger Ground Zero.
Live from the Riverlands.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I really hope people do. We on the community side, we have talked about like a newscast stream, which would be really fun. Maybe sometime post launch, but yeah.
That would be cool.
So yeah, the Harbingers they're like big spacefaring vessels. I mean, they're not like sci-fi ships. They're like big chunks of rock, which is they're really great. They're how the ancients got to Vera in the first place, like back during the original apocalypse. So
they're actually pieces of the ancients' homeworlds that destructed right when the celestial battle occurred.
Yep. So they've brought with them pieces of this world that really is the main way to visit and know this world. And they mark the arrival of corruption on Vera, and they are the point of the invasion threat. That's where the invasion starts.
That's very cool.
You'll be able to go inside these, as we alluded to.
Thematically, this kind of sounds like
and these,
Breath of the
eventually
Wild and
expanding
Tears of the
full-scale
Kingdom.
dungeons That,
I wouldn't know. I never played those.
Stuff. And so yeah,
Sad.
where these
It's
land,
it's like constructs, rock monsters, that kind of stuff.
Impact on the environment.
It's like a shared thematic.
And everything from the mobs that are there to the resources you can gather.
Yeah, and just to elaborate a little bit more on this, I mean, obviously, as
Rather
we
than
first roll
sci-fi.
out this story arc, like all content and all systems that we initially roll out, it's going to need to be further fleshed out, further polished, additional content added. But as Terrence was saying, and as Scott is kind of reciting, the story behind this stuff, this story arc is going to be the first real opportunity to see global changes get affected by player decisions, activity, responses, to how this arc develops. And there are many stages that Brian's going to be getting into a little bit with how the arc develops, but players are going to be asked to do different objectives at each of these stages,
Rift
and
and
depending on the
ESO?
success fail
Oh, I
of
didn't play those
objectives
either.
will determine how the story arc progresses and what future stages
Yeah, I
and
haven't
objectives
played a
are going
lot
to
of
be required
MMOs
in order
other
to push
than
it back.
ArcAge.
And these story arcs collect data from world state
Excuse
conditions,
me.
right? So like
BDO
as
as
you're
well.
doing normal things in the
See you
world,
later,
like
Cart.
collecting experience from killing mobs or gathering resources or
Oh, sorry, it's
crafting things or
Chris.
leveling
Have a
up
good nap.
settlements, whatever. A corruption ticker is kind of happening in that background. And that corruption ticker is unique, obviously, to this particular story arc and event. It might feed other things as we develop further story arcs. And we've talked about this, back since 2021, I think was the first story arc that we did in Carfin. I think it was 2022. Was the first story arc that we showed, I think was The Blood Still Due in Carfin. And there are a lot of partially developed story arcs that actually exist in the game that you can't see. They're in the background. They're not activated. We keep them disabled. And we've done some data structure changes, but this is going to be November, the first real big imprint kind of story arc that actually has large structures that exist within the world as well. Those harbingers that Scott was talking about, those literal pieces of the world that the ancients once existed on, that was destroyed through their battle with the celestial
tell
gods, now
Steven's
have
a
found their
DM.
way to this haven of essence and the Dawnfire's kind of creation of these civilizations. They are perverting that. They are a lesion upon that. They are spreading corruption and inviting the void to this realm through these conduits that are the harbingers, and players are expected to engage with that. So Brian, talk to us a little bit about what engagement looks like. What do these events actually entail?
Before we get into that, should we talk about who the ancients are?
Oh,
I wonder
just
if
wanted
they
to chime in
can
just
showcase
on
some of
something
the actual things
one of
that
the
are
other things that
happening.
this is really doing for us. We talked in the previous live stream about all of the work that we've been putting into improving our narrative tools and improving, like Stephen mentioned a little bit, the data back end, and this is really an opportunity for us to exercise all of those things and make sure that we're building the right things that we need to tell these grand story arcs for the near future, as well as 5-10 years down the road. We want to make sure that we have a solid foundation to build from, and this is really a big test of that.
Yeah, and those tools will
Absolutely.
affect all the content that we're making moving forward, which is pretty exciting.
And just to expand a little bit further on that, because that's a really good point, Bill. Obviously in development for games like this, massive, super complex, interconnected, systems-driven MMOs like what we're building with Ashes, there are tools that you can sometimes build which perhaps need to change throughout development, that didn't get the job done that you wanted it to, or you iterated differently on a piece of content or an intended system, and as a result, you go back and you refine those tools, you change those tools, you update those tools. Sometimes you have to even refactor those tools. And as it relates to our narrative tooling, Scott and Terrence, and having onboarded now Brian to that team and some other designers, we have gone through a very significant effort over the course of, I don't know, what was it, the last 6 months or so? 5 or 6 months,
Yep.
to basically rebuild our narrative core services systems. And this is going to be the first debut of that effort on a very grand scale. So, those of you who are talking about, the current testing environment and the questing that you want to see in that and the story arc systems and the content there, this is going to be our initial debut of those systems developing this more expansive content loop for players to engage with. And obviously, we're going to be looking to see how players engage with that, what feedback they have when they're engaging with it, how we can continue to refine it. It's not going to be perfect in November, but it is going to be a step towards that direction of us achieving our content goals. And this system is going to be what gets us there.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we want the world to be alive with these dynamic things happening everywhere that players are contributing to and making, great impacts on that affect not just, their own personal story, but the story of the whole server.
Yeah, and some of those events, obviously outside of Harbinger stuff, are even related to nodes. So this goes into all of that as well. So for those of you who may not have realized that, well, Scott, if you want to talk about who the agents are, then we'll toss it back over to Brian to go into the event system and the flow of that.
Nope. Yeah, so the ancients were the gods' first creation, like a very, very long time ago, and when they made them, they were they were a little bit overtuned, I guess, and then when they became corrupted, they turned against their creators, and that led to the destruction of their world and their banishment to the void. And so yeah, they have returned on these harbingers, and that led to the apocalypse before. And then this pretends greater conflicts to come down the line. They have a big objective. They have a nefarious plan. They want revenge for the destruction of their homeworld, and they also have another higher order plot as well for the source of this corruption that has initially swayed them down this path, in times before.
I don't know.
And
the more I'm hearing them talk about it, the more it kind of
also,
sounds like what we're doing for Hikaru and D&D. I think Feaster might be
I came up with it first.
I don't trust this anymore. I don't trust this anymore.
They're stealing my ideas.
Not getting reviewed until later. Those
They
things
straight yoink
I think
to you.
are very true when it relates to the ancients. You haven't seen very much of the ancients in the testing, up until November, and now you're going to see the ancients kind of sweep over Vera like a plague to a degree, especially if the players don't respond. So, the backstory of the ancients is very very colorful. And that's a story I think that's very interesting to tell because it alludes to something that is much more grand on the scale of kind of cosmic affairs rather than the Varen or the Sanctus affairs. And those are always fun because they let you kind of dig into, that backstory, that lore, the kind of grand scheme of, why we're here. It touches the big, epistemological questions from the Avatar's perspective. That can be really cool. And we don't want to give all that up at front, right? You're gonna discover that, as you move throughout the game, and it's gonna draw you in and draw you closer because it'll help to characterize your position in the world and why you're here. But ultimately, I do want to say that the ancients aren't the only adversary you will face in these environments. There is the concept of the void, and the void can be home to
It's
many
just like
different types of
League.
creatures that may not even be
I know, I was gonna say
original
that.
to your reality.
I'm locked in
And that's
now.
something that I think gives us a lot of,
They got the
obviously,
void, Kuro.
free
Watch out,
reign from
Kha'Zix
an
is
NPC design
ganking.
perspective, from an encounter perspective. We can shake things up with that.
With that
element,
meme of
right?
that guy holding the
And a few of
controller
those
and
will
just
be
sitting
present in
up.
November
That's
as well.
just
We're
what
excited
happened.
to showcase not just the ancients and
The
their
void,
story
you
and how they
say.
relate to you, but also the kind of grander, more cosmological, questions.
Yes, we bring forth the cosmic horror.
Yes.
This
And,
is definitely more of the horror gore side of things than
Yes.
we've done
It's
before.
far more M-rated. That is for sure. And you'll see that in some of the concept art here. that
Our
goes with it.
social media managers was like, I
Whoa.
don't know if we can share some of these images.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a lot more
So-
intense than I
Oh,
thought it was
that's
gonna
And the core
be.
of the
sick.
ancients is that they don't have access to this essence that they used to have when
Whoa.
they were, before they became corrupted. And so, one of the
Oh my
main sources that they
God.
can get
It's
essence
like Dead
from
by
are
Daylight.
the living creatures of
M-rated
Vara. So
stream
you'll
now.
see evidence of them taking that essence, and it's not a pretty or easy to look at process.
The ancients already have a fan club. People are saying,
Shield
"How
your
could you
eyes,
do
everyone.
wrong?"
We have human
Oh
kebabs.
God.
They're
Here we
making
go.
it.
Yeah.
Information is now off of X and into Twitch.
It's a
It's
huge-
misunderstood.
How do you even
Um,
explain this? It's like a
All right, well, walk us through,
sphincter. It's like a
Brian, the
That's crazy.
event
Sphincter.
flow. We have a flowchart to kind
Why
of
would you
walk
explain
this
it like
long
that?
Event process, and obviously this flowchart is not all of the details of it, but it kind of gives
Oh,
you
it's
a
gone.
short version of it.
Oh,
and by
safe.
short, this is a pretty hefty flowchart. But I'll
Oh,
hand
yeah.
it off to you.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm still looking at it.
There's definitely a
Why?
flowchart. There's a lot of little details that we won't
Shouldn't
be able
have-
to get into today.
Because it was kind
But
of
yeah,
cool.
this has been a big technical lift.
That's pretty cool.
I'm happy to represent the technical side here, but there's a ton of other people involved in this. Bucky,
Crow, you
Jared,
should
all the
play
engineers, Jason Neal,
Dead
all
Space.
the artists. Like, this is a huge effort across the
yeah.
team. So yeah,
Is
it's
this
excited to see
is
this
this
moving,
single
and it'll be
player?
exciting to
Yeah,
share this
that's
in
a single
whenever
player
we're done
horror
with it.
game.
So yeah, how does
Okay.
it
Oh,
go?
don't say
So,
that.
like Steven was mentioning, there's a local corruption.
Why'd you
threshold
tell
that
it's a
needs to be
horror
met
game? You
before
should have
the
told him
event
it's an
kicks off.
action
So
shooter.
what
Dead
can increase the
Space?
local
It's
Yeah,
very
called Dead
obvious.
Space,
skill
bro.
players in the area.
This is like one of the more famous ones.
Level ups.
I'm
Bosses
surprised you
he
haven't
would've
heard
felt
of
for
it.
it.
Wars completed, wars or sieges initiated, and we're also going to have corrupted elites that are trying to reach a portal inside the Harbinger. And if you don't stop them, that'll also increase local corruption. All right, once
Listen,
that
bro.
threshold has been
Dead
met,
Space,
the
Left
event
4
starts.
Dead.
Something else
You
to
like
mention about
that
local
one?
corruption is
Play
it's not
Dead
just for
Space.
starting the event.
Oh,
There's
true.
gonna be
That wasn't
constantly
really
ticking up
scary.
as the it's going to be constantly ticking up always.
it's got
And
Dead in
whenever
the title
thresholds are
too.
met, then the event will expand if it's already met. And there'll be
Oh,
more
wow.
corruption added to the
Actually, I
overall
just
area.
noticed some of the things that
Alright,
were on
so
this
phase one,
list.
the ancient commander arrives. The ancient commander will come through their void gate, and you'll have a limited time window to kill them and shut down the event before the corruption has spread at all. The ancient commander is going to be extremely
Local
buffed up in this
corruption.
phase, so if
That's
you
a
want
lot
to
of
actually succeed
criteria.
here, it's
Yeah.
gonna
That's
need to
actually
be a
going to
server-wide
make
effort.
certain
All the parties are probably going
servers
to have to work together and
feel
try to kill each
really
other.
different from the
It's
others.
going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, I'm so glad they
But
zoomed
yeah,
in
once
on this
say you
picture
guys
too,
fail,
because I could not read
what happens
that.
next? Then,
And just to be clear,
go ahead.
real quick, Brian, there. So, once this phase, the incursion begins, this area becomes lawless, right? This is
The
this is
following
now an
increased
OpenTTX
local
encounter
corruption
design,
for the
right?
region.
Where you're going to have some group of
Players
players
killed
that are
by
interested
other
in the
players
incentive and the
were
economic
fucked.
reward loop that comes with
Oh, this
defeating the
reminds
boss
me
and
of
pushing back the corruption and the
that
reward benefits
game
from that. And you're going to have other players
about
who want to persist the
democracy.
lawless territory so that they can continue to gain
What's it
players or
called?
that they can continue to harvest corrupted
About
resources, which can be
democracy?
wild cards within the economy for regular resources.
Where
So
you
there's a
shoot
push and pull
aliens
that will
and
exist
stuff?
between the players interested in keeping the current paradigm versus changing it.
Helldivers?
And both of
Yeah,
those are obviously
Helldivers.
incentivized through some economic reward structure.
Oh,
Yeah, that's an excellent
I've
point.
never
Right,
played
you have to fight
Helldivers.
back.
All the server coming together to try to handle
Yeah.
phase one. Maybe not likely because
I haven't played
to
anything.
keep it going, like you said.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
just
so
have to like fight
whenever the,
aliens
you guys failed phase one,
to
then we
quote
enter an
unquote
incursion phase. So the corruption
save
expands to a new area and an
humanity.
incursion starts. There will be a forward void gate that appears, and there will be void channelers that are
And
holding
if you don't
the
like
gate
fight
open.
them
Kinda
off
similar to
enough,
phase
they
one,
like
you'll have a limited time
invade
window
back
to kill the void channelers
territory.
to close that forward gate and push back the corruption in that area. If you're
And
successful,
if like
then
nobody
the check
plays,
has
like
all the
the
corruption being
aliens
pushed back,
basically
and if
take
you are successful,
over.
then you'll get a chance to
I
slay the
think.
boss. But let's say you fail at killing the void channelers in this phase, because similar to phase one, they're going to be buffed up. They're
So
gonna
it's
be
like
difficult to kill in
ever-changing.
this incursion phase.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Whenever the
That's
players
cool.
fail at pushing back an incursion, then a foothold will be established in that area, and it'll be much more difficult to repel. So how do you repel a foothold? Go ahead, Steven.
Basically, the
Just real
entire
quick,
player
another point
base
there,
has
Brian,
to
is
work
that
together to
obviously
fight it off.
we haven't talked about where these harbingers are located. I think we have in the past, but I don't know if we mentioned it here. These harbingers are located
that
in
is really
3
similar to
of the
this. I
current,
like that concept.
biomes, essentially. They're located in the Sandsquall Desert, they're located in the June Dark, and they're also located in the Turquoise Sea. So when you talked early about kind of corruption ticker that's reaching
That's
that threshold,
crazy.
those 3 locations are running independently from one another. And oftentimes what you'll find is the progression through this event system, this story arc, will either be at a similar pace within those zones or be at different paces. So players who are looking to capitalize on responding to some of these events or expansions, or the Void Gate incursion versus the Foothold, they're going to have to contend with multiple expansions that might be occurring at once. And they're going to have to pick and choose where they devote their resources towards as the story arc continues to unfold.
I think, Stephen, also it's important to mention that that's happening at each individual harbinger as well. Each individual harbinger can have multiple fronts,
Correct.
right? So you might have the corruption extending out to the west and a foothold established while another incursion is happening to the east.
That's right. Yeah, and how many how many kind of expansion rings are capable at each of these harbingers, Brian?
There's 3 potential routes they can go, and they can expand to 4 times per route.
Got it. So each one of these, as the ticker hits that threshold, we're rolling on a random chance generator essentially for each of these harbingers. How many of those progression loops off of the harbinger will progress, right? So imagine you see a harbinger in the middle, and then you kind of see 3 tendrils that come off of that one harbinger, and it's segmented into 4 portions that it can advance each time, right? And you might see all 3 pop at once, or you could see 1 pop at once, right? And that kind of adds a variability of randomness to how players can react and will react based off of that eventuality.
You can low roll these. I'm good.
Also worth mentioning, maybe
That's crazy.
while this is going on, there are also a series of like actual quests.
Don't put
that are
me
more
in the
designed for, like,
squad.
narrative experience that operates alongside of this
Worst possible
PBS,
outcome will
experience
happen.
that's going on that explains the particular ancient that you're
These
up against
harbingers
at
are
this
going to
harbinger,
absolutely
what
rinse
the
us.
history was during the apocalypse and things like that. So there are like time limited quests happening while this is going on to engage into to get deeper into the narratives.
People are wondering like how long these events will run. Are they?
I wonder
planned
if
for
they have like a
weeks,
small
months,
showcase for
hours?
it.
So it depends on the stage. Brian, you want to talk to us a little bit about each of the stages and their timelines?
Yeah, and this is all approximate. This will come down to playtesting and tuning, making sure this all feels right. But correct me if I'm wrong, Steven, but this is supposed to be a big event, lots of time commitment. So we're talking on the scale overall. Like if you're super sweaty, ultra coordinated with a whole server, maybe you can wrap it up in a couple days. If it gets out of control, you might be there all month.
Yeah, and it depends
Mhm.
obviously on the phase as well.
Damn.
Like for example, during the Void Gate incursion, you're going to essentially have hours to respond to this event before it potentially progresses into a foothold. So as you see the warning come out that corruption is spreading, a Void Gate has appeared, move out of
People are
this
going to
particular
call
little
off
area.
of work
That's going to be the warning. Get out of this area. It's going
to
become
get on the
lawless. You don't wanna be
server
there. It's
and
gonna become a
stop it
corrupted kind of
before
zone. The
they
incursion
get
is
those
about to
couple
begin.
hours
And
and
then
get the
once that incursion
footholds.
begins, there's going to be a set of
Honestly,
objectives
though,
that players are going to be
might
expected to
even, like,
complete in order to push back that
I feel like they
incursion.
might
and
even
make it a lot
time it
closer
around
again.
holiday
But if they
season.
fail to do so within the hours allotted,
That could be a
then it will
thing.
become a foothold. And a foothold is an
Calls
entirely
up grandma.
separate type of
Listen,
intervention.
I
You
can't
wanna
come
talk to us
visit
a little
this
bit, Brian,
year.
about the foothold?
All right, the
Yeah,
corruption
yeah,
is
like
coming.
phase
Click.
one,
Yeah,
maybe
we
call
got
it
a
phase two,
we
maybe
got
call
a
it the foothold. We're talking a couple
fucking
days to complete these
scarecrow
objectives.
harbinger
Much more
coming
involved.
down from
So yeah, the objectives
from
are
the
first off,
skies
you want to build a
and
coalition outpost.
at
This is a little
work.
base that you can build.
Yep.
That
yeah,
will
yeah,
help you
at
push
work.
back the corruption.
No,
We're gonna have
she's
guards
going
there.
to
We're
hear
gonna have a
that.
respawn point there,
Call
and
up,
you'll also be able to craft
like, I don't
hardwood
know,
infusion crates.
some law
Local
These
shaman.
enforcement,
infusion
get
crates
you
will help
arrested.
you with the
No,
next
no,
objective,
she's gonna
which is
get you
sealing the
arrested.
root
You're
way.
going to the
These lesions will be spread throughout the
insane
corrupted area. And you'll be able
asylum.
to take your heartwood infusion crates to them to create a healing explosion to seal the lesion. And whenever all the lesions are sealed, then
Scarecrow
the void channelers will be vulnerable to attack again,
corruption.
and then you'll be able to slay the void channelers.
And these
And
outposts will also have like vendors, NPC guards, and a unique crafting table to create the hardwood infusion crates as well.
Let's talk about the coalition outpost a little bit. So this is a location that exists within the incursion slash now foothold location, right? And each foothold space or area can construct a coalition outpost. And what construction means is that players are expected to bring construction crates from corresponding node locations in order to successfully build
He
those
said the
coalition
word. He didn't say
outposts. The
settlements.
reason why
We
players
got him.
must build those coalition
No.
outposts, as you just described, Brian, is because in order to seal the rootway lesions, which are these kind of eruption geyser-esque looking essence points where the rootways of Vera have essentially been infested almost with this corruption. And obviously the intent of the ancients and the denizens of the void are to accumulate this essence. Why? Because essence doesn't flow in the void, right? And if they run out of that essence, they become kind of husks. That's the only way they really die. So they're part of their purpose in, not just perverting Vera, but is also to obtain essence, because that's the fuel for their corruption. That's how they pervert things. That's how they interact with the magic that allows them this power. And as corruption spreads, it creates these lesions all throughout that area. And players are expected to craft these heartwood infusion crates right at the coalition outpost. That's the only location that you can craft these particular crates. So you must construct the outpost first, kind of like a forward operating base within the corruption area. And then from there, you can deliver these crates to the legions to close up these geysers and then allow you to progress to the killing NPC boss phase, which eventually then pushes back the foothold. Now, Talking about competing incentives, we are a PBX game. If anybody is disillusioned with that fact, it is better to come to terms with that right now. That is what this game's identity includes, which means that there are going to be PvP objectives and there are going to be PvE objectives. And balancing between those two competing aspects is how you succeed in Ashes of Creation. So when you're taking these crates that have this, this high amount of essence from the forward operating base, from these coalition outposts, there's an incentive for a player to gank you and kill you in this lawless area and unpack those crates and steal the essence inside, because it's very profitable. Of the crates that you can kill and take, these crates are extremely profitable. I mean, they're literally pure essence. So you're going to have the players who are interested in all the reward profile that comes with successfully contributing to these legions and closing them and killing the bosses and pushing back the foothold. That is super rewarding. That's the PvE component of it. And then you're going to have the players who are really interested in stopping those players, because they can take the shit that they can take the crates that they've crafted and the goods that they've used to progress in that PvE
Whoa,
and they
fine.
can introduce that PvP element in order
Hashtag
to
find.
add that
He
risk
said the
and
word.
steal those things. That is the competing avenue between the two player groups.
Not on
Yeah,
my
with the whole
PG
area
stream, you
being
didn't.
lawless, there's a whole bunch of ways that you
I
can
don't know. The
take someone else's
sphincter
rewards
thing
for
kind
yourself.
of.
But yeah, whenever all the
Kuro?
Wu-Wei legions are stabilized, then the next objective is to slay the void channelers. And unlike the incursion phase, they're going to be in a weakened state.
Yasha,
because the
hey,
rest
we
of the
are
Wu-Wei legions are
bespoken.
disrupted
We
from that.
bespoked.
And whenever you're successful at slaying all the void
Bespoking?
channelers, then we'll do a check, have you push back all the corruption, and if not, you're going to
Have you watched it
all the
already?
corruption
We're watching
in the
from
Harbinger's
behind.
area before you can proceed. But if it's all been pushed back, then the next phase is to challenge the ancient commander at the Harbinger. These will be unique encounters. NPC is hard at work, giving us 3 different variants of these ancient commanders. And they're going to all have unique rewards. And yeah, whenever you defeat the ancient commander, then the event will end. It'll go on some sort of cooldown. Whenever that cooldown has passed, then it will then be gated by the local corruption threshold again. That's basically the whole loop.
Very exciting.
That sounds fun.
You know, the thing that they're all working towards is the reward part of it. So, right? Can we talk a little bit about what that is?
I wish they would
Yes.
showcase it a little bit
So
more.
there are a number of
these are
different
cool.
reward profiles. Obviously, completing the event carries with it contribution towards the completion of that event that players are rewarded for. That means
How to
closing the
become
guys- the,
Aatrox. Step-by-step
root
instructions.
and it means constructing the forward operating base or the coalition outpost. It means defeating the bosses and destroying the void gate. Those are all activities that contribute towards participants who successfully do those things receiving a reward. And in addition, the reward table drop profile that comes off of those channelers, off of that the world boss at the end of the path, or the commander who might be at the void gate, they have very lucrative types of drops, including some specific corruption type drops, which we won't get into here. There's still some design that's going into that the economy and system teams will be working towards. And those are obviously going to be high level. This whole zone, this whole story arc is intended for a more end game type of leveling experience. So as the zone changes to a void gate incursion or to a foothold, the monsters in the area get leveled up, right? They get more, they get a buff to them that makes them corrupted and makes them the natural fauna and flora that exists there, in addition to adding ancients that are all throughout the zones as well, which are a whole different type of mob that has its own difficulty level. So these are very difficult encounters that are expected for players who participate with them.
And just as a note for the initial version, nearby settlement states will not be directly affected.
Correct.
But the future iterations, that is the plan for us to expand to those as well.
Correct.
Yeah, settlements will be heavily impacted because the corruption will spread right up to the walls, basically, but it won't go inside the nodes for now.
Yep.
But in the future, it will.
Or the settlements.
Anything else you guys want to cover? I know we just did a lot. I'm sure that there's going to be some folks who are going to analyze all of this and have lots of thoughts. And obviously, once you guys get your chance to check it out in PTR, we'll definitely let you know when it's available. But for now, we're just kind of giving you a little insight into design, the system, why they're creating it, and what it's going to do, and how it will impact you guys as testers as well. Anything else you want to touch base on? Because we still got more for this live stream.
Oh my gosh, I
I believe
know.
the PTR is under NDA,
All right.
right?
That's it for me. We're just excited to get
So
this
I
out
don't
in
think I
front of
can
folks.
stream that.
All right. Well, thank you, Terrence, Brian, and Scott. We're going to let them go.
But I
we're gonna
do
go to a
really
quick
wanna
break,
see
and then
what
we're
this
gonna
looks
get
like
into
in
a little bit more
game.
relaxed environment and go into some sports fishing action.
Yeah,
before
because
we get into more
conceptually they
intensive,
nailed it.
topics.
I think they did a
So
really
we'll
good
see you all
job
in a moment.
talking about it, but I definitely want to see it in action too.
Oh, fish.
Seahorse.
Yeah, we played it on normal, and I was like, oh,
Oh
my
my God.
Oh, they're 0.5, 1.5 right now.
That's how I want to have Kuro.
It's
for me.
not called the
Or-
NTR. Visual NDA,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh?
So I guess we can talk about it.
It's a nice bird.
It's a bird with fins.
Monka.
Why is that? Why are they focusing? Why is it still here? That was on the screen for so long.
First time
You're kind
caller.
of cutting out.
Yeah, they brought different people, I guess, to talk about the other thing.
Woo, welcome back. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about sports fishing. This is a little sneak peek, maybe not as in-depth as what we just did with the Harbinger.
Sports
Some
fishing?
fun
Is that what I
we'll
just
cover
heard?
as kind of some
Yeah,
information
it's
level. Hopefully answer
fishing.
some questions folks have been wondering about. And with us
Sports
in the space,
fishing.
we have Blair. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
You are a new face. Can you?
First time
You're kind
caller.
of cutting out for us a little bit, so I think you're peeking yourself. Can you kind of walk people through what your role is in here and like what you do at Intrepid Studios?
Sure. I am the lead combat designer. And that encompasses a whole lot. There's player combat, there's NPC combat, there's vehicle combat, and I kind of sit on top of all of those
Vehicle
teams,
combat.
and then also help out all over the place.
I
just
think
because
they're
I've
talking
been
about
doing
like
this
siege
forever and
stuff.
have all kinds of insight into
And maybe
ways
like
to get things
caravan
done.
raids.
Perfect segue. Talk us through kind of like your history in game development, so folks have like an insight into that if they don't know who you are and what you've done.
Sure. So I've been doing this for 25 years now. This is my 5th major MMO. Started on EverQuest 1, went over to Star Wars Galaxies, built DC Universe Online. Crowfall was my most recent title, and then
Oof,
I'm here on Actions.
Crowfall.
Awesome. Can you
Very,
talk?
very,
I'm gonna,
very excited to have Blair. Blair has.
I don't mean to be that guy,
Terrence
but
has as well.
like
Obviously, you guys met Terrence. We're
those
reading
MMOs are a bit
Blair has
too
been-
megalo.
Blair has rolled up the sleeves, gotten dirty, and
I think
everything
EverQuest
possible,
is pretty
and has been a huge
popular.
lift.
Crowfall,
That's
like,
the one. That's why he led with
grateful
it.
to have Blair
yeah,
and Terrence on
the
board. They've
Crowfall
taken a
is
lot of weight
kind
off my
of
shoulders
it
for sure.
exploded. I did not
Feels
like
thank
that.
you. I'm gonna toss you a
Right.
different question. Then
I don't think it was
gave
his
Terrence,
fault
but
though. It was
what are you most
it was
looking
something
forward to
else
in Ashes of
for
Creation?
sure.
Actually, the
Mhm.
stuff that I'm working on, which is the actual naval stuff, which
Ah,
is
that you're just
No, trust me, he was chomping at the bits when I first sent him barely a GDB.
Oh
he was
damn,
like,
new
yes,
Sea of Thieves
I'm
update
ready.
looking kind of fire.
All right, well then let's.
Yeah,
get
I
into
didn't
it,
expect to
Blair.
see
Walk us
Blair
through what
here.
is-
I'm
What
actually
we've
kind of
talked about MMOs
surprised.
just being an excuse for
He
fishing
looks
stuff.
so much
That's right.
older, but
And
that's to be
this one,
expected because I've been
exciting enough,
following
this
this
is the
stuff for
first game
like
I've worked
10
on with
years
an
now.
extensive sea naval system. Galaxies had a space system, but you weren't really fishing from ships in space because that's just not gonna happen, right?
Well, I think you would probably die if you did that.
Like run through the force field. But the naval system is really exciting because again, once you do this for so long, it's like, yeah, I've built that before, I built that before, I built that before. So always keeping you interested is the new stuff that you've never worked on before. So for me, a sea navy is actually something really new and super cool. So I'm super jazzed to work on it. I'm super jazzed working games in general. But this is a new thing that I haven't built before, so super excited. So Ashes has a fishing system right now. And it's AFK fishing, and we're going to keep
That's
that.
never been our long-term plan.
But we're going to keep that portion of it, and sports fishing is going to be adjacent to it. They're both going to tree off of the fishing skill line. And if you're not going to play for a while, you got to go make a sandwich. You can go AFK fishing on a river, right? It's there. If you're down for some more active gameplay, then you're going to go sport fishing. Also, we've heard different flavors of sport dash fishing, and in fact, the data is already named. I've already done a consistency pass. It is sport fishing.
Oh, I might have messed up.
Sport
Apologies
fishing.
apologies if the overlay does not say the right thing.
Yeah, it is sport fishing. And
Okay, gotcha.
let's see, what are we showing? Oh, we're showing the new ship right now. That's the Navy is part of this, and the fishing is another part of this, because you have to have ships to get out to the fishing nodes, and there are going to be fishing nodes out in the wild.
I think I saw this exact ship type on Arcade.
In the
actually.
interior continents, and then out in the ocean, we're gonna have these giant fishing nodes for saltwater
Wait a
fish. There's gonna be
minute.
different fish in each kind.
Yeah.
I think you're
And
onto
one of the great
something.
things that came online
No,
in
like
3.0
the net
is the crate
that you
system.
walk up
And that is
onto
going to be
right here,
leveraged
and
really
then
heavily as well, because when you catch these
the
big fish,
rope
they
on
don't
the
go in your
side.
pocket, they actually go on your
Oh.
back. And
Yes.
it's cool. And I love the crate system. That's actually a fun thing as part of this project as well.
Well, this is new.
Can we first start talking? Can we talk a little bit about the profession of sport fishing? So I know there are folks who are curious if it is going to share the same skill tree as fishing and how that is going to work.
Yes. So I've also planned for a long-term.
I hate the
fishing,
crate system.
skill tree.
What?
Skill tree, however you want to, whatever you want to call it. There's going
That's
to be one of those.
crazy.
I've already reserved power with
Wait,
the
why?
fishing system for that. Right now, it's being baked.
Why do
into
I
the,
have to carry the
sport
fucking
fishing power
crate and move
stat.
slower
I
and
pulled
just
a lot of that,
suffer?
put it into
Why
the
can't I
There's
just
also
buy
a
a
lot of fun
donkey to
stats
carry
in
my
there.
crate?
Chance to
You
lure
And I'll
can.
protect
But
it.
I can take you through a
Well, you
walkthrough
can buy a
You are going
donkey?
to
Yeah,
go
there's
to
beasts
one
of
these,
burden.
big
You can
sport
have
fishing
like
boats.
you can have
Oh.
wolves
Because
do
there's gonna
it,
be
giant
birds
cats,
flying
like
around,
any
there's gonna be
animal
lots
you
of
can
fish,
tame. I think
and
you
you're
can
gonna be
turn
able
to a
to chum
beast
some
of
chum in the
burden.
water. And when you chum the water,
I
the
thought
node
those
goes
were
active,
meant only for
and
like
everybody there
carriages and
now
stuff
fish
like
from
that. Not for like the
And
When
boxes
we're
that you put in your
referring to
back.
node, 'cause
No,
we've
there's a
got
mule
nodes,
system in the game
settlements,
too.
just so we're clear about that.
Oh,
Plus,
thank
it's not
God.
meant to be
Holy
solo
settlements,
either.
because
Like you're
settlements
supposed to
means
do
node
it as
means
a
a lot of
group.
different things, and usually in code it means different things.
Margaret, your mic is a
Gargaroos.
little clippy.
Oh, okay, sorry. I will just see if I can fix that.
Yeah, so node here, we're talking about resource node, obviously, right? And this is a resource node as it pertains specifically to sport fishing, right? Not the AFK fishing per se. So you're chumming the water essentially to make sure that resource node becomes active.
And then you're going to have a fishing pole as you presumably have one equipped. You're also getting a new lure slot in the next update, and there will be a lure progression system. So there will be fairly easy, cheap lures to craft, but that means that you won't have access to the full suite of fish that can come from that node, and they will do less damage. There will be more medium ones that halfway down as you follow the same progression, you progress training to master, grandmaster, and those lures, as you get down to the more expensive ones, will open up chances for
What
the larger
the
size
heck,
fish,
Chris?
as well as
That's
the
so
more,
much.
the more gold selling 4 fish.
And
I'm
let's talk
gonna
a little
miss
bit
you
about,
too,
about
Chris.
the-
Thank you
the
so much for the
dichotomy in sport fishing,
5K
right? Because
bits.
you have sport fishing that exists
Oh
out
my
in the open seas, which
goodness.
we know falls under
That's
the umbrella of
huge.
lawless territory that players can essentially
Chris, thank you,
incur the
thank
CBX risk associated
you.
with it. But then we
Are you
also
on
are going to
TikTok
be
right now?
introducing
Pirates!
freshwater sport fishing as well, which may not have as high a return as the greater risk of being in the open
Thank
sea,
you so
may not require
much.
as
Oh
good
my
of lures or
goodness.
as good of a fishing pole per se.
I really
but players will be
appreciate
able to
you.
sport fish within
You
the
can literally
freshwaters
just
that are
make
under
like
the
a
umbrella of a
mercenary
lawful
pirate
territory area
faction
of
and
the
go
guidance
attack
system,
people that
and
are
be able to
fishing
move those
and steal
throughout the
all
world.
their stuff.
Oh yeah, people
Absolutely.
did
So
that all
there's
the time in
basically,
Dark
what are
Age
you up for
too.
tonight? How much time do you have?
That's
do you want
so
to go
funny.
out on Steven's cool the Corsair / cargo skiff / sloop? We're still playing with the name of the ship that we're showing here. It ended up more looking like a Corsair, and it was it's a fun ship. It looks good. It plays cool. We've already used it in our first sport fishing playtest. Everyone's super excited about it. And you go out
Thank
on
you
the
so
open
much,
seas, you find the
Chris.
nodes. It's riskier. You have a couple
He is
fish holes
everywhere.
on the ship that you can put the fish in, so you can carry more than just what's on your back. And then you take it back to the harbor and you sell your fish and you make good money. Or
Yes.
or you come back to your ship and there are pirates. And you have to fend off the pirates. This was one of my experiences in Arcade. I went out swimming to pick up a fish. I came back and there were 3 dudes on my boat and they instantly kicked me,
Sorry.
took my fish, sailed my boat away, burned my boat. I was sad. But that will be one of the experiences that
So the
Burn
Corsair
my
side of
boat.
this is the
He got
addition
rolled,
to
what
the
the
Navy,
fuck?
essentially, right? It accommodates the
Yeah.
space you were talking about earlier, where we want to have a separate class of vessel that's going to accommodate some of these additional attachments. And really, as we approach our naval system, these ship classes are really just a template for attachment types, which are how the class is determined for the ship, right? Certain types of attachment points on certain ships will have available attachment types that can be placed on them. In the Corsair's example, you can use different weapon attachments in these slots, or you can use, in some of the concept art you're seeing now, you can use a fish hold essentially, right? Which is, Blair, as you described, that combat mechanic where you're sport fishing, you're deteriorating health of the target fish, and then when you successfully deteriorate that to the point where it's nothing, you can go acquire the crate on your back and bring it back to the ship and store that within this attachment. Talk to us a little bit about other attachments that we're working on for the Corsair as well.
So what's funny is you jumped over. I hadn't gotten to the minigame yet. You kind of leave.
Oh, my bad. Oh, go for the minigame. Do minigame first. I'm sorry. I'm not following the run of the show. I apologize.
I was just like, hey, wait a second, did I say that? Okay. So,
Before we get too far along, I want to acknowledge chat that came up with the Blair Fish Project.
Yeah, I like that. That's
I don't
good.
know how we've avoided that one this long, but appreciate it, chat.
oh boy.
It is now
Oh,
going to be
yeah,
that
it's,
internally.
So you get your ship and you go out with your buds
Sounds
or
like
not,
the AA
and
game
you
loop.
fit-
Yeah,
you
it
jump on the
kinda
node, it's
does.
now active. It'll stay active for some period of time, 45 minutes to an hour, whatever.
Similar to Black
whatever you need
Desert,
to.
it's
You
a lot
cast your
more
rod
in
the
depth
water
than Black
based
Desert is. Black
on
Desert's a
the
lot more
quality
linear.
of lure that you're using. Again, through that progression is how fast you will potentially hook a fish, and then you'll play a minigame. And it's, for those of you who have played a similar game before, the fish goes left, you move your rod left. The fish goes right, you move your rod right. And you're basically wearing the fish down to the point that ultimately he turns into an NPC corp, because that's the mechanic that we have. And you swim out to it, you put them on your back, and now you've got your trade pack slot consumed. Now, in the future, our Navy will probably have a fishing boat that will have more than 2 potential cargo slots for fish. But for now, we've got 2. We're building the tech. There will be even more cool things like hooks and things for the really big fish, because there's multiple sizes of the fish, the small, medium, and large. And the smaller the fish is, the easier it is to catch, but presumably you have less fishing skill at that point. And if you need more fishing skill, do some AFK fishing while you make a sandwich or clean the house or do whatever, right? And that will just happen. We're not going to change that. People like to AFK fish, but this is the more I'm ready to play tonight and I want to fish. Let's go fishing, honey.
And you'll be able to see what kind of fish someone has, right? Because like we have some images of this. I don't know if Kyle can switch to one of them. But, like,
What
fish
the
are actually on the
heck?
backpack thing. It looks so cute. I love it.
And I told Chris Atkins,
Chris
our
Cass?
I was like, make them comically large. Because he made them big. And
What?
I'm like,
What?
"This is like comical.
What
Like,
just
it needs to be
happened?
big." And you're like, yeah, I've had
I think
this.
it should depend on the fish. Like if that's the actual size of the fish, it should be that big.
Well, you have 3 sizes. Remember,
What?
there's the small tuna, medium tuna, and the gargantuan, which is your comically large one. In fact, we're showing right now.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
the different sizes right there.
Yep,
Chris?
There's 3 sizes of the marlin, and there's also, they're worth different.
Did you just give
amounts
20
based on
subs
the
and then
fish. So
Valorant
interesting
gave me
questions. Earlier
34?
question about getting back to the Navy and component slots. We are developing.
Oh
the Navy
my
at the same time.
goodness.
I have a plan for all
That's
the
a level
we need
9
to
hype
create
train
to
from you
launch the game.
guys.
And the component slots is all of
My
the unique fun
god,
stuff.
what the
So
heck
the
happened?
Corsair will get a harpoon on the front that's unique to the
Having a
Corsair,
raid party here right
and
now? I know,
you
I'm
can
trying to
fire
watch this
essentially
figure.
snare
Oh
drag
my god.
guns, that stick to
I got
another
dono
player
bombed.
ship, and
Oh
those
my
drag bags
god.
will
Thank you
create
so
drag on
much,
that ship that will
Chris.
slow it down. So the
Yes.
more you attach,
Thank you,
just like
thank
moving
you.
jobs, right? The more
I'm
barrels
gonna
the bombs
be
are,
able to have
the
some
slower it
spending
can go
money in
down.
China.
On other ships, it will slow them down.
So this is not
Wow.
a rope that's rooted to the ship that's firing it. This is a projectile that has a drag
Oh
bag
my
on
god,
it,
thank you
and when
so
it impacts
much.
the
I
enemy ship,
appreciate it.
that
I got
bag
hit by
essentially drags the
Valorant.
water as the ship moves, decreasing its speed. And you can have multiple bags
Well,
that have up
Valorant
to a
just
stack count,
threw
obviously,
34
on the
subs at
target
me?
ship,
What
and
the
the
heck?
players will be able to respond
From
to that on
what?
the enemy ship by interacting with the
Huh?
bag location and removing it from the vessel.
Like it's
That's
like a harpoon,
crazy.
what do you call it?
drag bag.
Like
I love drag
balloon.
bag.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an aquatic parachute.
Yeah, parachute. That was what I was thinking.
Just an
Hot air balloon
anchor.
parachute.
But this ship was totally cool to build. We started with a gray box, and then we really focused on how players get on and off of these. Our lead gameplay just finished.
Yes,
ladders,
tomorrow's
last
live
night.
stream will be
So if a
by
ship's
you.
going by, you can
Oh
actually
my
interact
God, Chris,
and latch
thank
onto
you
the ladder
so
and then
so much
climb up the ladder
though.
The
across.
ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Sounds like
really
some
I'm
appreciate
shocking
it.
from the water right now.
Oh my
Kinda
goodness.
lit.
Yeah, our current the
We're fixing
caravan
that.
really wasn't designed
I know.
for ease of
Go to
use.
sleep.
We're
Good night,
gonna
Sean.
make a
Good
pass
night,
on that one as
Yumi.
well because now we have our
Good night,
guidelines for
Nude.
how do we get on these ships, right? There's always going to be rear ways to get on
Valorant.
it.
Thank you,
And there's
Valorant, I
also second water
suppose.
or
Maybe I
cargo
owe
nets
them
to
a
find
game. I
one of the bigger
haven't
ships that you can
played
latch onto.
Valorant in so long,
And
and
so
I was
you hang
like,
on there
oh
like a tick,
wow.
you just hit, and you're on the tick.
That's pretty cool
So
though. Thank you so
there's a lot of
much
fun
though,
stuff coming with
Chris.
sport fishing because it's also the intro
Thank you,
to
thank
our
you.
future
Oh
navy
my
and the future
God.
ships and fun components. Like Steven's like, hey, would it be cool with the harpoon?
I
Also, could
really,
heal
really
other ships, so you
appreciate
can swap it
that.
out with a different type of harpoon unique to the Corsair. So when you think of our different ships, think of them as different, basically classes. Right, this is going to be the light quick fighter. This is just like a small gunboat that has one potential gun on it and a mast and a steering wheel, and that's it.
Valorant?
And then we're gonna
Yeah,
go into the
apparently
bigger
Valorant
ones,
does promos on
and
Twitch
they will
from
be
time
limited
to
how many
time,
players you can
so
put on there by their buoyancy stat before you actually slow and then scuttle the vessel. So don't put too many people on there.
I wonder if
Yeah,
they
we talked
actually
a
show
little
it
bit
off.
about.
Sorry, go ahead.
We talked a little bit about the kind of
Do you think they
sonar
do?
component as well, right? And that's going to add a new dynamic to traveling in the open seas, right? To engaging with these types of fishing resource nodes, to transiting crates to different harbors for turn-ins. Now you're going to have an element that extends the kind of replication distance for other vessels and or other resource nodes for these fish locations in a visible manner to the captain that
Oh, it's
is
like a
manning the ship,
radar.
essentially steering the ship. They will see on their mini map if they have
Oh
this
my
component
God,
attached.
Anju,
They will
you get to
see
be a
kind of regular ping
captain
that's
of a
going out
ship.
and updating locations for other ships within
Oh
that
my
1,500
God.
meter range, and then alternatively seeing seeing the fish within 1,500 meter range.
Captain,
and I think
my
it's 750
captain.
meters or
I
1,000 meters for
Love
the
house.
enemy ships. I'm not sure, or just other ships.
Right
I'm
now,
gonna get us blacklisted by every other guild.
The Sextant is the
Gonna ram the
shorter
boats
one
in
to get
there.
to more advanced components that do slightly different things. Because again, we want to make the
But
component
we're gonna
choice
be rich, I
interesting to
promise.
customizing your ship, right? So we're
Worth.
going to give you components that do slightly different things, maybe a cheaper one because you're always losing ships and you want to just throw something on there to fill the slot. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's great that we're getting to the point where we're adding all of this. The more sandboxy game loops that can just exist by themselves.
Thank you so much,
fishing,
Chris.
right? And if you just like
Mhm.
printing money, right, then go sport fishing because
Exactly.
this is a way of creating new money into the economy is by sport fishing. But
And I think
because of
that component the scanning component we were talking about is the radar arrays, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I think the last one that we wanted to talk about was the sail variants, and I don't know if you want to go into how those will function.
Did you say the sail variants?
Yeah, the sail variants, the different sails that folks can have.
Are we delivering on sales for November? I didn't think we were.
It was on the list, but maybe we're not.
No, we're not. No, there won't be. So obviously, long term, we do intend to have a lot
Leaked!
of components that go into,
Leaked!
very similar to how you have caravan
Yeah.
components that apply different stat values and or abilities to your caravan. The ship vehicles obviously will have a similar paradigm, and there will be components like sails, like rudder, like figurehead. Blair and the team are part of defining what that is going forward. It's not going to be in the November deliverable. Everything we're talking about here with the new ship class, with the fishing, the sport fishing on freshwater and open seas, the rods, the lures, the chumming, the new ship class, and the radar component, the harpoon, and the fish storage. Those are all coming in November. But there's obviously the system will not be done. It's not going to be fleshed out. There's a lot more that goes into building.
Thank you once again, you guys, for a level 9 hype
further beyond
train.
November. But we're standing up the base functional loop here with introducing now sport fishing in this additional Corsair class.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
and it's been the effort of I want to say 8 different teams. So it's definitely a studio-wide effort, and it's great to we just had our first playtest this week, and it went swimmingly. You know what happens when 8 different
That's
teams
you,
just
Kuro.
dump stuff into and it's like, oh, that doesn't work, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. But
No
it's
way.
great because you can actually see the vision starting to firm up there. And I'm really looking forward to getting this.
Looks just like him.
Fishing. It's like MMO DNA, right? You gotta have it, and even better because when you have a game like sports fishing, because a lot of MMOs just don't go the extra step and go beyond the fishing.
That one's on you.
I'm really excited.
All right. Well, thank you, Blair, for diving into that with us. We appreciate it. To give us some more puns in it. We are going to talk
I'll be
about
this
some
All
one.
right, next one's
things
Hikaru.
that are a little more hot
Yeah.
No,
topics.
you're not.
So
You
we're
don't get
gonna
to be the
see you
seahorse. You're next
No,
one.
no, no,
one.
I'm
And we're going to let Blair
Okay.
take a moment, and we'll be
Ew.
right back with the rest of
Bottom
us.
right, that's
Thank
Hikaru.
you, Blair.
Yes.
What the heck? How long are they on just the
Crazy
seahorse?
horse.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. welcome back. We are going to be going over community feedback. There's been a lot of it. We have done a plethora of reports on the community side.
Is there
development,
no
daily reports,
like
weekly reports,
preview?
specific reports on
Gameplay
various
preview?
different topics? I know the QA team themselves has also done a ton of bug reporting.
Hikaru's
and,
skimming through the
learning
VOD.
all of that information
Where's
from
the
development team, but we understand
gameplay?
that there are
Where's
some folks
the
curious about certain topics or
gameplay?
certain,
That's probably on the
systems, and we're
PTR,
going to
but
cover those concerns
it's
here so
not
that
coming
you know
till
that, like, hey, we
October,
hear you, we
so
understand
I
that
mean,
this
I'm
is
not
your
going to be
concerns
here
that you
for
have,
2 weeks
but
anyway,
we're not
so
concerned because we have solutions, we have plans that
Right.
we're putting into play, and we kind of want to bring you into this. A lot of these we've talked about through, Stephen has mentioned these things in Discord.
But it'd be
with folks,
nice
but
if
we
they
wanna give it a little
recorded
bit more
like
amplification, 'cause not
15,
everyone
20
is
second like
following along at
gameplay
every little
footage,
thing
even
that
if they
a
just looped
developer
it over
states
and
in those
over. It'd be
channels.
nice
So
to have like a
just to
visual
open the
Discord
representation
and Reddit,
of
you
like
know, just to be
actual
clear, like,
in-game content, right?
obviously,
they showed the
in
summoner and
between
stuff.
meetings or when I'm, laying in
Yeah,
bed
that
in
was
the middle of the
awesome.
night, reading
Mhm.
That was the
Discord
best
stuff,
part so
I'll
far.
comment, I'll engage
I
with the
love the
community
Summoner
there.
Showcase.
Obviously, that is not something that is extensible outside of those platforms. I try to rely on our community content creators, on individuals who go on X and might post summaries. I've seen a lot of different Ashes moments and people who post things on Reddit so that it gives it a little bit of a more megaphone. But as Margaret said, we want to also incorporate some of these topics, even though we may have addressed them this last month or so, as part of the live stream, so it has a wider view and audience.
Yeah, and the community team also has replied to a lot of these threads or the discussion topics or whatever it may be as well. And same with our QA team. I know that a lot of them are in those bug threads, but we just want to give
Not
it
yet
a
in the
little bit more
PTR,
amplification.
yeah.
So the first segment here is going to be about settlements and war systems. So my first question is, can you clarify how settlement XP gain, resets, and level ups are currently working, and whether we'll see clear thresholds or contribution tracking in the future?
Yeah, so kind of two parts.
Oh, was it
one,
cracking
we
up a
did some
little?
changes, obviously, with the rollout phase.
It
We had
is,
an
yeah.
entirely new settlement
For all of them.
team, and as part of that and work that was done,
Is it
Hold on,
me?
people are saying something's wrong with the audio.
Oh no, it's them.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, it's them.
how about my voice? Is my voice?
Yeah,
fast?
they said it's
Sounds
both.
like popcorn.
Oh, it's better now.
Let me just in case.
I
Fixed.
wonder
They
if it's
said
on
fixed.
Twitch's side too.
They said good now. Okay, well I'm good now. So either
Should
way,
I redo the question, or did people hear the question?
Sure. Yeah, you can redo it.
I'll redo it just so we have the soundbite. Can you clarify how settlement XP gain, resets, and level ups are currently working, and whether we'll see clearer thresholds or contribution tracking in the future?
I'm sorry. Somebody in chat said Hector. That is so great. I love that. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to break this question down into two parts. The first part changes with the settlement experience and resets and level ups, but the second part, how do we track that? How do we showcase that from a UI perspective to the player? Obviously, first to obviously draw the point here about the debut of Phase 3 on August 26th, there was a lot that was done to the underlying systems for settlement development, including adding an entirely new level to settlements, the town phase. And anytime you are making changes to a particular system, especially one as expansive, as large, as intricate as the node system, I mean, that is probably our most intricate system that we have in the game, arguably, it is going to incur the potential for bugs to manifest, for issues that need to be solved. So I would say, that's normal. That should be expected. The settlement system is something that we are continuing to refine. You see this new development for content and systems moving forward, as we showcased here so far on the stream. That doesn't mean that teams are not dedicated to fixing the live environment and what is currently implemented. That is always
What's
going
up,
to be a balance
Norley?
that we have to maintain, right?
Hey,
Because
Norley,
in a sense,
welcome
this
in.
live testing experience
Green,
is
thank
a
you for
live
follow.
service,
Welcome in.
right? It's a live service that has the express understanding that there's going to be bugs, that there's going to not be polished, that there's going to be issues we need to address. But as a result, we have to bifurcate the team to a degree to address those issues on live, while also considering the forward momentum and perspective on our milestone goals for content development and new system development, right? Because we have a lot of features that we're intending to launch with Ashes Integration. So can I clarify how settlement experience gains, resets work, right? Obviously, as players do things in the world that gains them experience, they're contributing that experience to
Hey,
settlements. Now, we
Bree.
experienced a few bugs
Nice to meet you.
early on that have now, for the most part, been addressed with regards to experience getting reset, persistence having some issues within the database for settlement experience that was gained, related specifically to either server workers dropping, the node service getting inundated with traffic, and having some failures that resulted in those node experiences getting lost. We have since addressed a majority of those issues. Settlement should now be, I'm sorry, that's going to be difficult. But settlements have
Got
now
him
been,
again.
have
I
been
like
collecting the
the
proper experience.
word
However,
node
as a
more.
result
I
of
know.
the
They
underlying
said it was
system getting
more like
adjusted,
new
to,
player
working towards
friendly.
phase
But
3,
maybe just
there
because
were
I'm used
also
to
some
it.
hooks to the data from a UI perspective that's not
Yeah, I
usually
think
displaying,
everyone's used to it.
proper
Like,
experience
it's just
gained as well. So it's kind of a twofer. There were
he used
underlying
it for
issues with
8
the service
years. Now he
and
wants to
nodes plugging
switch.
that
Like,
experience,
I
and there
don't
was also
know.
a display issue happening on the UI side.
Yeah.
Now, as I understand it, there's still
Like
some
settlement
outstanding
might
work
be
with
more
regards to the
accurate,
UI,
and it might be
UI
like a
working on
better
that might be
word
included in the
for
0.16
like
release that's going to be coming up next week.
immersion.
Some fixes for
But
that,
node
but
just makes
make
sense.
sure that you're
Yeah.
And again,
people
yeah, it's been
understand
used for
this isn't
8
a
years,
game
so
yet.
I like
This
node
is still
more.
a testing phase. We are still
But
actively
I get
developing,
it.
and when you add to the development pot, the stew of development, sometimes tastes need to be refined. Sometimes bugs, can be found that need to be adjusted. So as long as we all
I feel like
have
he's
the
given this
shared that
answer like
expectation,
a
I
million
think there's going to be a
times,
lot more
but
understanding.
Yeah, I would just say, like, we always err on the side of putting things in front of players earlier rather than later.
Yes.
And we know that there's gaps in our feedback, and that's always good. And the UI UX, and those are always things that are going to be iterated upon endlessly as we're going through the different phases of testing, and even into a real released live game environment. Like those jobs are never done.
Yeah, and
I like how realistic they are, though, and how transparent they are as a dev team.
That's a great question.
I think they
Why are
do a
we
good job
Because the more
communicating to
testers
players.
we have that are participating,
I think so
the more
too.
feedback we get, the more bugs that we find, the more opportunity for iteration that we get, and we feel that the product or the test environment is now in a place
Despite how much
where
people have
players
been
can see,
complaining.
even if they're unengaged, even if they're not, haven't been following the project for the last 7 years, there is an opportunity for them to see what the long-term intent and pictures
If
and goals
people are
of this
complaining,
project
they
and
might
have a
be
voice in that
taking how
process.
much they have for
This
granted,
is
because
also
like a
something that
lot
we
of
get to
other
use
companies don't do
to
this.
litmus test some of these
Exactly.
systems,
It's
not
not just
within
that,
the,
but
I
like
don't
they'll
wanna call
make the
necessarily,
most random
not
complaints
within
too,
the
like,
core golden
oh my
rule,
god,
right?
these
You guys were
graphics
on
are
the screen right now,
so
the 2500
like
people who are
early
watching
2000s,
the,
and I'm like, what the heck does that
50,
even
60, 70,000
mean?
people who watch
Like,
this,
they'll
Twitch
say that and then they'll
recording
go play
and/or
old
live
school
stream on YouTube.
RuneScape.
What?
You're a very core audience. You are
Right.
very
Like,
invested. You like this game. You
just
are
shut
sold
up.
on what we're trying to achieve. Otherwise, you wouldn't be
Do
here.
people actually
Now, the
say that?
question
They
is,
do. They
how
think
does
the
that translate
graphics
to
don't
the
look
lesser
good, and I'm
engaged
like,
audience? We
they're
wanna
kind
get
of
that
pretty.
information
Are you
sooner
playing on low
rather than later,
graphics settings or
because they are
something?
also
Because
an important part of
I
ensuring
don't
business
know.
success, and we need to make sure that their voice is represented.
There was
And
like
there's
a guy
only one way
complaining
that
about
we
the
can reach those
skybox
individuals, and
with
that's through some
the
amount of
oh, there's only
marketing. We
one
feel that we
moon
have
at
done
a
A
as much
time.
as we can from a grassroots
skybox?
perspective
Yeah,
to
just like
attract
how
the
the
golden
sky
cohort that we
looks.
have, and we've done a great job at that. Don't get me wrong. Like from a project in development, there are very few that have this level of
People
visibility
just like to
and
complain,
engagement at
bro.
this stage,
They
and
really do.
historically has had at this stage. But now there is an opportunity
There are
for
products
us to
that are
expand.
fully
Yeah, no, that's an
complete that don't
integral
have
part
that.
of the
Exactly.
gameplay.
Correct.
I'm walking forward and I'm looking straight
This
at
will
the
be the
sky
first
the
event we're playing
entire
though, because
time.
like ad spends out and things like that. Like
Camera
James said,
straight
it
at the
has
sky,
been
that's
very
important.
I was
aggressive.
about to say
You
that.
actually
Who
do
the
look
fuck
at
works for
it
us?
With you guys
a
through,
lot.
hopefully,
You look at it a
feel like
lot.
you're seeing the
More than
progression
you
of
think.
I
the
do
vision
not
and talking to
remember
some of
what
you
the
guys who
sky
have been here
looks
for
like.
such a long time.
I know we
and
saw a
saw that
moon
light
on the
and
sky,
and are
like
excited to
or
see it continue to
something,
grow, and
like
our
a
team continue
planet
to
really
grow.
far away.
And I think it's, going
It's
to be exciting to see more
probably
players
because we
actually get to
haven't
see
done a
the
ton of
product and
walking.
know about it.
Because
So there's tons of people who don't even know what Ashes of
when
Creation
me and
is,
you are
and that is
playing,
why
we're usually
we're going
like
to be marketing.
in
So like
a
the marketing
place,
aspect
like
of
in a
it is
mountain
more
or
that
something.
outreach, that
But when
getting
you're
more
delivering
eyes
a
on Ashes of
pack,
Creation so that people
it's
can see
the
like what we're
sky.
working
You
on,
see
and
the
then we can get
sky
that
a
feedback
lot.
from those users as well.
Absolutely.
Did you answer the part about whether we'll see clear threshold or contribution tracking in the future?
Yeah, I will say that, from a UI and UX perspective, as we develop what that visual feedback looks like to the player, we will perhaps get a
Yeah,
little
the
bit more
summoner
granular,
gameplay
showing,
is back.
specific experience
Yeah,
values that the node progression requires. But that comes later when we do a more refining polish pass on the UI that's actually representing these systems.
All right, next one is, we got through one. Are there any improvements planned for settlement war warnings and guard behavior, especially during early aggression or conflict triggers?
So talking about the importance of feedback,
Yeah.
I think that we all saw the importance of that feedback a couple of weeks ago, when now in the new phase, as certain player groups got to the point where they were engaging in node wars, we saw, hey, some of these features that we deprioritized as not being MVP required to stand up the base functionality of this particular system now has risen to the point by the community where it is really desired to, and we need to implement this sooner rather than later. So of course, myself and Bill and the other directors having the power that we do within the development scene.
Yeah, the
we can take
graphics are
that
fine.
feedback
It looks
and
like
we can
Baldur's
make
Gate
some
to me.
disruptive actions
Yeah.
and choices.
And
And that's what
Baldur's
we
Gate looked
decided to
good.
do with regards
It's
to this particular
UE5.
feedback. So as a
Looks
result,
great.
we'll
Yeah.
be seeing in the 0.16 update
I
that's coming
can't
next week,
imagine
there
people
being
complaining
new
about it that
alignment,
much. That's
protocols for
crazy.
guards within
Some people
nodes,
don't
so that
like the
when
UI,
node
some people don't
sieges
like
and or,
the
excuse me, node
graphics. I
wars-
don't know.
Gosh darn it,
It's
I'm so sorry.
pretty.
Settlement
Settlement
wars.
war. I know.
Are they sure they like MMOs?
It was 8
This
I
years
know,
looks
ago.
like a
right?
very
Take 8 years before it
by
became
the
settlement.
books MMO to
So
me.
when the settlement wars get
It's
initiated,
like what I'd
the
expect.
guards will now be affiliated with the
It's
citizens, and
like
they won't
people
defend
say,
only
oh,
the
but Blue
citizens who are registered as
Protocol or
participants,
like
within the node. They will also treat hostilely
freaking,
any
I don't
adversarial
know.
party that comes within range.
Like Blue
That's gonna be a
Protocol is
huge
the
benefit
anime
that I think the
game.
community was asking us to prioritize
It
sooner
looks
rather
very
than later, so
pretty,
that's coming
but
potentially next week.
they're very
And then in addition
stylistically
to that,
different.
we are also
But I will
incorporating-
say,
Yeah, of course.
Let me just see here.
I do agree with
We
Andrew a
are
little bit.
incorporating the
The
warning,
characters
so there
can
will
be a
warning
little
phase ahead of
ugly.
the node- ahead of the settlement war.
Right.
I
So
wish
players have
they
time to
could be a
prepare,
little
to,
prettier, and if you want
stash
to
their
like
goods,
have a
to
pretty
get back to your warehouse
person
or something,
option.
and
And
do
I'm
better
not
for it.
saying
And then
I'm not
additionally,
trying to
we're
like
adding a on-login toast,
face
so that if
shame
you
or
were
body
offline when
shame
this
or
warning
anything
phase
like
occurred,
that, but
or
it's
you're not
like
aware and you haven't logged in for a couple of days, and boom, you
I
log
don't
in
want to
and
play
open
an
up a
ugly
settlement
troll,
war,
you
you'll
know.
be notified via the toast that, hey, look out, you're in the middle of a settlement
Right.
war.
You are
So-
forced to be ugly. Like
And then
you.
the next one here is PvP and corruption. How is the team
I don't
approaching
know.
edge cases in the corruption system, like players users using unstuck or death to avoid penalties? And will we see clearer rules and safeguards soon?
How's the team approaching edge cases in the corruption system? So we are aware of those edge cases, and we do have plans to address those edge cases.
I'm actually curious
we have
about this
designs that
too.
are intended to address those edge cases.
Mhm.
But there's also going to be a period of time where we reflect on the feedback and how the system has been used, and we may make some iterative passes on the system as well. So how do we approach it? We approach it obviously through the same methodology that we do most feedback, which is you provide that feedback, community collects that feedback, they have a meeting with design and myself where we discuss that feedback and theory craft solutions, or whether or not it validates our intended solutions that we just haven't gotten around to yet. So a lot of these systems, as we know, are still unpolished, but also also are missing core functionality features, right? That may not have been required or needed or identified as MVP for the base loop to be functional and for us to even collect this feedback or validate that future direction, going forward. I think that we have added some of that functionality in the past. I think it was like 4 months ago or 5 months ago that we added additional functionality to the corruption system. We will likely be prioritizing this in the next milestone, so not what's coming up in November, but what's coming in thereafter. Unstuck causing death to avoid penalties. We're not going to be changing that. We don't want unstuck to be used as a teleportation, backdoor teleportation. So we decided to make it a death. Now I don't know that necessarily backdoors avoids the penalties. Like, you're still taking the penalties. It's just you can incur that death at your own will. You might drop shit there. You might you lose the normal amount of experience that you're going to lose. But I wouldn't consider that necessarily a backdoor.
Find.
When will we see clearer rules and safeguards? Corruption as a whole is something that is going to be continually refined as we move through phase 3. So you will see continual refinements of that as we continue moving forward.
It's not really an answer, but
All right, the next one
And
is
just to be clear, I see over your gameplay saying it clears corruption when you unstuck. It doesn't clear
So
corruption when you unstuck.
people
What it does is it
use
kills
that
you.
as like a
Killing you clears the corruption.
recall?
So unstuck isn't necessarily the
Sort
culprit for
of.
clearing the corruption. It causes a death, and when you die and incur that experience debt, you are losing a portion of that corruption. So
and
if you
long
have
term,
a
that's
very
not how we want unstuck to work. Also,
correct. That's
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
Yes.
Next one is, are there plans to make flagging and corruption more transparent or auditable, so open world PvP feels fair but still risky?
I don't know exactly what that means. Auditable. Like right now, flagging and corruption are pretty transparent. It includes a UI treatment to the color of the nameplate. It includes a UI debuff box on the targeting plate or on your own personal HUD. It is very visible. I don't know
It
what
is very
auditing
visible.
it means. We're not gonna. I mean, you'll see it in your combat log per se, right? But you won't be able to access a history and see, oh, this person flagged here, then, and there, and also went corrupt.
I think it's also like the actions in which flag you for PvP also.
The actions that flag you for PvP.
Yeah, like there's some certain abilities that folks have had problems with, like the bard abilities and things of that sort.
Yes, those are
Flag
bugs.
them, yeah.
Absolutely, and those are bugs, and I think we've addressed those bugs in the past few weeks on some of those specific edge cases. But I think the crux of this question is auditable. It's that word auditable, and I don't think we're going to be adding any type of auditable feature for the flagging system.
Gotcha. Moving on to artisanship and gear progression, is there anything being done to address the current gear valley where crafting feels unrewarding due to scarce drops, high cost, and missing recipes? It's a loaded one,
Yes.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
I love the
So
human
artisanship and
skewer
gear
jump
progression.
scare about every
I will say
15
that we have
seconds.
made some
They're just going
organizational
through it.
It just
changes
comes
within,
back.
the team.
They
over the course of
just
this
put it
last
back
week,
on screen every once in a while. Make sure you're
trying
paying
to bring
attention.
together a little bit more of the systems design element, particularly as it relates to this question of progression and addressing those gear valleys.
It's like, oh, these nice
However,
pictures.
I will
The
say this level of iteration
fishing,
is not a quick fix.
There's some pretty
You should not expect this to be
fish.
done in a short amount of time. The economy is
Look
a
at
very
this.
expansive
That's where you
system.
put the
It is,
fish.
Arguably,
I'm kind
compared
of
to the
curious
settlement
about like
system,
how
is the
much of
second
this
most
is
complex
actually in the game
right?
too,
You're
because
dealing
this
with
is
thousands
all
of
supposed to be.
recipes with
What
hundreds
the-
of material
Huh?
types, hundreds of components.
What are they saying
a
about
lot
gear
of different,
progression? I need to know.
variables that inform
hold on.
pricing, please. However, I will say this level of iteration is not a quick fix. You should not expect this to be done in a short amount of time. The economy is a very expansive system. It is, arguably
What?
compared to the settlement system, is the second most complex in the game, right? You're dealing with thousands of recipes, with hundreds of material types, hundreds of components, a lot of different, variables that inform pricing, reward tables. They're all dynamic in the world. It is any MMO econ designer's worst nightmare to develop an
saw
economy for
you!
this type of a game. Now, that hasn't deterred us to do that, right?
Thank you so much
Ultimately,
for the raid.
that's at
Welcome
the
in,
crux of what makes
Raiders.
this type of a game so exciting. All
Saw
the nooks and
you.
crannies that you can find.
I
best
saw you
ways to
playing chess
optimize the
earlier.
time you spend in this game.
Hey,
right? We
Sugoi,
want you to have
welcome,
access to
welcome.
that,
Welcome.
sandbox of an economy design. Phase 3 was the first
Hold
stab
on.
at doing a significant amount of revamp to that. Obviously, we missed the mark, and that's okay to say. We are going
Welcome
to be
in,
doubling back and
Raiders.
focusing. I mean, 2 entire teams have
How's your
wiped
stream?
clean the
How's your
slate of
stuff
their milestone
going?
deliverable to focus on
I got the raid
this
message.
economy
Hey,
issue.
Lynn. How's it
So
going?
we are very dedicated right now
Like
to
MMOs?
taking stock, taking account, inspecting the data, and making the changes that are necessary to ensure that we land a positive update in this regard going forward. So, how are we addressing it? Well, we want to make sure that we're obviously breadcrumbing players through their initial experience, that kind of golden path experience. And that should include, some focus on early level gear progression that isn't entirely
Yes.
predicated on crafting requirement. Crafting is how you make the best shit in the game. It will continue to be the guiding pillar of how the best shit in the game gets introduced. But we missed the mark on some of the recipes that were reauthored and adjusted, and some of the drop rates, resource spawn rates, and quantity requirements, as well as obviously the bugs that we've had with, unlocking certain crafting benches, tool access, and recipe requirements that were off a bit. So as I said,
My
our
issue with
focus
this
now
is
to
that
take
you're
stock of that, to
region locked by
understand the
recipes,
issue
and
and
that's just stupid. That's just so stupid. Like, it's the same bench in the north and in the south, but you can only make it in the bench in the south. Why? It's so dumb. Like, why?
It's
Requirement, be in the Riverlands. Why, dude? I'm smacking a hammer against a fucking anvil. Why do I have to be in the south to do that shit? It's the same thing.
I don't know if that's actually like, oh, like
It
to
is!
use those
I
benches in
can't-
the
I-
south.
the-
Yeah.
I get it that there's different types of wood, ores, because the environment changes, whatever. It is the same anvil in the same place, the same crafting station. Why does it say requirement be in the south? That's just stupid to me.
Is it? I
Yes.
think.
Why do I get recipes that can only be used in the south if we're in the north? Drop me recipes that can be used in the north. They
Oh
just
yeah,
change
yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
loot table.
I think that's the thing. Like, if you're killing things in the north and you get a drop for a recipe, it should be for a recipe
can
you
only
can
be
use
used in
in
the
the
south.
north. Yeah, it should
Yes.
be. That's probably just a bug.
Address it with a
It's just so
comprehensive
dumb.
plan that leads to a November deliverable, which moves the economy in a forward, more positive intended direction.
Thanks. I know that was a lot, and hopefully everybody was following along. But if you have follow-up questions, we'll try our best to address those.
And I just want to add to this, like, look, at the end of the day, when you are opting in to participate in this development at this phase, you should be doing so, and should is a very operative word here. I am usually not a fan of the word should.
Or
but
just. He doesn't like either of those words.
I know.
I
But
did
what
watch
would
your
say
chess
is that
game a little
the
bit, at
expectations,
least.
like level setting expectations. Active development is going to incur unintended results. That is the byproduct of active development, and that's the reason for testing. That's why we test, right? Because as a design moves from paper to editor to a packaged build, each step of the way, there is an opportunity for bugs, misalignment, redesign requirements, not fun being had, whatever it is. It's an iterative process. It is a very creative and iterative process. Anybody that is sitting and thinking, man, this game has a busted ass economy, or these bugs aren't getting fixed, or whatever the deal may be, this is not the path for you as a gamer. Participating in development. That is perhaps not the path.
Yeah, come
the
back
path
when
might be
we're launched.
when the game is finished, because your expectations are to play a finished game, and that's cool. Like, that's the vast majority of gamers out there. That is a totally normal sentiment. But what we're doing is inviting people to participate at a stage where bugs are high, balance is broken, and shit is unfinished. We're saying that. We're telling you this. We're openly saying, hey, expect this. And if you come back and you say, man, I didn't expect that, well, there's a problem. So we need to make sure that we have people that are helping us to echo that knowledge, that are helping us to tell others about that. Because
they plan on changing it? Oh.
Yeah,
I was
I
going
would
to
just chime in and
confirmation in
say,
chat. They said
Ashes,
they're changing
we have
that.
multiple
Andrew.
vectors of progression across every scale of gaming. From
Thank
from the
God,
solo
thank
player
you, thank
through
you.
groups, through guilds, through settlement advancement, and so our efforts are really always looking at that holistically and trying to balance all of that together.
We
It's a
already get
complicated
cucked by
problem,
materials. I don't want to get cucked by
for any
recipes.
game, for any MMO, and we're so we're
I think
constantly
the
trying to push that
materials
needle
thing is
forward,
supposed to
and there's a
be
focus
that
effort, like
is
Steven said, on the
intended.
design team, to where we've brought a whole bunch of
Yeah,
additional
like-
folks in to help move that
like,
needle
here's
forward
what
for
you
the,
have around
the
you.
game as it stands right now, and make sure that we're again.
And we're gonna give you
as
things
is
that you
always my
don't
focus,
have
that are set
access
up
to
for the
and you
future,
can't make anyway.
because we know that we
Right.
want a game to last, and so having all of this right is important, but also having it adjustable is important, and making sure that we have all of the knobs that we need in place, or it's still part of the process. Like, we're not there yet.
Drop rate
And
recipes
so
on
as we're discovering new things, we're making new adjustments, we're discovering new
Yeah,
tools and new levers that
recipes
we
are
need
supposed to be
also
really
develop.
rare. Like, as rare as the
And then I'll also echo
item you
back
need
to
for
we
itself.
talked about we are still looking for
You finally get
designers
one,
with
and it's
economy,
for a region you're not in.
experience. And so I'll
Yeah,
add
that
that
is rough.
again,
that's the
that,
bug.
that's a need that we have on the
Yeah.
team, that we have an open position
That is
that we've had
rough.
for a while, and we're still actively looking for. So if you know anybody, send them our way.
Yeah, we have a principal economy designer position up, so definitely send someone our way. Or even if they're not principal level, they can still apply. You never know what'll happen. So
All right,
please
Andrew,
send them
time
our
to
way.
apply.
intrepidstudios.com/careers. Then I'm going to kind of skip forward to recipes and craft, or not recipes and crafting stations. Yes, recipes and crafting stations. Because I think you covered the other question here already through your previous answer. Some recipes like Dew Thread, Sanctus Skulker, and Apprenticeship Leatherworker are still missing or mismatched. There's a broader recipe pass or reorganization in progress. And then additionally, will region-specific issues like crafting station gaps or professional bottlenecks be addressed to improve mid-tier progression? I think you touched on that already.
Yeah, both of those I talked a little bit about. Like I said, 2 whole teams have now been dedicated this milestone to reflecting, taking stock, and addressing those issues. It's not going to come quick. It's going to come over a period of time, and the hope is that by November,
They're working
we
on
will
it,
have
Anju. They
moved
got
the
2
economy in a
teams on
direction
that.
is far more positive
Mhm.
than
They stopped
where it has
working
been.
on
So
other
things are
parts of the
moving
game so they could
And
fix
I know
this
the community will
issue.
kill me if I don't cover this one, which is gather rules and node rarity. When will we see
I mean,
static rarity gather rules be
it makes the
removed, and
game
how is the
really
team
hard to
reworking
play.
them based on the
I
community
can
concerns?
And
imagine.
enjoy.
It does
Additionally,
sound
how is the team
miserable.
handling situations where rare node quality is exposed through visuals, pop-in behavior,
Like-
or UI overlays before interaction?
So
I had it
on the first
happen
point, the static rarity issue. So we did remove static rarity from a
that I
section of the
didn't
harvest
know
tools
that it was
pack, I think,
region
from, like, phase
specific.
2,
So
maybe
I
some
went out of my way to
What had happened
farm
was, when we
everything I
introduced the
needed to
clustering,
craft a
which
staff
was
for one
a
of our
new
guild
feature
members.
for gatherables,
It was like fucking
the
4
pattern
hours
trading units
of my
clustered,
time.
their clustered areas.
And then I get to
It
the anvil and I
used the
cannot
old
craft it
tech
because
of
I'm not in the
predetermined
fucking
rarity location.
Riverlands. I wanted to
That
crash
has now
out. I
been
wanted
brought
to just
up to the
close
top
the
of the
game.
attention of the engineering.
Just go to Riverlands.
They will be
Easy.
addressing that hopefully within the next release.
That's another 2 hours of
where it will be
walking just to walk back
random
again.
clustering.
No,
So not everything
that's
has the
35
current,
minutes
static rarities.
max.
It is really just the cluster node resources, I understand, that are placed.
1
on
hour
that
trip
is
for
getting
one
addressed,
staff.
currently. How's the team handling situations where where rare node quality is exposed through visuals? So that is actively being worked on. We raised that concern as a high severity bug. That is something that
Imagine you almost
UI
get
will be
there and you
addressing.
get killed on the way.
It got manifested when we
Yeah, and you
introduced
get
some
crafted
additional
again.
interactable tech for
Mhm.
multi-interact nodes.
I'm
And
glad
as
they're
a result,
addressing
there was a
this.
different piping used for some of the
Apparently there was
displays,
a
that should be addressed shortly.
there's
So we are on
some
top of that as well.
guild that is
And then
cheating
moving
right
on
now,
to
where they
Anvil's
have an
and solo
overlay
versus group gameplay.
over
So
their
the first one
screen,
here is
and it
the Anvil
shows
Zone
the
has
rarity
felt
of
a little overwhelming
items
sometimes to some
that
players,
they
missing
walk
recipes, a fewer
across.
POIs, and broken progression loops. Are there improvements underway to bring it up to
Like
parity with
nodes
the other
and stuff?
regions? And I know we set that
Of like
expectation
rocks,
when
like
we
this
came
rock
into it.
is
We let people know Anvils
legendary,
will not be on
this
the same
rock
level
is
as Riverlands
common.
and so on.
They have like an
But folks are
overlay
curious
over
when
their
it will be
game,
and when
and
the
when they
issues
walk
that are
across
currently
it, it
affecting
just like
the
tells them what
progression
it
elements of
is.
it, like broken quest and recipes, will be resolved.
Oh, I
So
want that.
the Anvil's
That's
glow up is not
cheating.
going to
Give me
be part of this milestone, other than I think a couple
It's
of
a good
quest features
add-on.
that might be targeted for November. It will be something that we are going to continue developing, right? Starter zones have a little bit more need than some of the other zones that we've been developing, right? We want to make sure that we're building outward from the starting experience with regards to content, POIs, and whatnot. We've taken a focus to introduce the story arc as we've gone through the description of this live stream for Sandsquall,
Which
Judeark, and
reminds
Turquoise,
me.
and Anvils will get some
Good
additional
night,
attention come next milestone and
Shiro
the milestones
Good night,
thereafter.
Shiro.
As Margaret said, we did obviously make very clear that the initial debut of the Anvils was not going to
Okay,
be on par with the
it
River.
reminds me.
It was going to be more
What?
on par
If
with
you get
Sandsquall,
lucky and
Judeark,
you smack a
Turquoise
legendary
as it relates
rock,
to the available content,
you
pathing,
get
and points of
more
interest.
experience
That's
than
something that's
completing
going
a
to be
quest
continually
that probably
developed.
took you an hour.
And then the last one here is, given the grind-heavy artisanship system,
A
is
legendary
anything being
rock, a
done to
legendary
better support
piece of
gameplay in
wood,
Anvils and reduce the feeling that solo gathering is the only
legendary
viable
flowers.
path?
Yeah, I think that
You
that's
just
what
walk around, you happen to smack it, you get lucky,
as
you
we
did.
continue to develop the zone,
Boom,
those
8K
things will become more
experience.
viable.
The quest, 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the next, oh, go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, that doesn't mean that there's nothing happening like short term in the Anvils. We're constantly like evaluating even the base pop of
You're talking
the
about our
Anvils,
home, Hikaru.
as it was a big test case for a bunch of
Yeah, they're adding in
population
questing
techniques
and
that we
stuff
have
there,
internally
like
that
actual
we're looking to leverage.
storyline
So we're still making
quests.
a lot of development effort in there, even though you might not see it.
I hear
Awesome.
that's what's going on
And the
in
last thing
PTR
here
right
is there's
now.
been a lot of discussion around exploiting or
People
player
are playing
behavior
Ashes
and
of
actions done
Creation. We're
towards
like
players. So
in the
really, this
public
is about
bathroom.
player action and transparency in regards to that. And we just wanted to
We
let
got
folks know that
nothing.
we are planning to launch
Some
a
toilet
new player
paper,
actions
some
webpage
toilet
at some
seats,
point in
and
the
that's it.
future that will help provide a little bit more visibility into enforcement trends and community standards. But we aren't ready to share that yet, and we don't have a timeline that we're willing to share yet publicly. But we want you to know that that is something that is coming. It's going to be different. Not every company displays what actions have been taken on accounts, but that is something that we are going to shift and start doing. In the meantime, we
Oh,
are planning to
nice.
maintain a
We're
knowledge
gonna
base
start
article
vlogging
with
people
customer
live.
support, where we will update summaries of kind of a few different
What?
enforcement
She
data points.
she
and let
basically
people
just
know what
said,
the recent actions have been.
like,
We aren't
if you
going to
get
share exact
banned,
details, but
they'll
it'll be
post your name on a
like,
billboard and say you got
the
banned.
first two letters of an account type of thing.
Oh, nice.
with
That's good.
asterisk and
Let's
you know,
go.
what the
Old
actions were.
school league days. Let's fucking go.
True! The tribunal!
Tribunal.
Yeah,
That's
baby.
so
We're
funny.
so back.
Result of overwhelming response from the community that this is what you want.
I
Previously,
used
our
to work
policy
on the
was that we would
tribunal
not share
part-time.
account action details,
That's
or
crazy.
any
I
insights
would
of account actions
I would
outside of
sit there
metrics,
2 to 3
scope,
hours a day and
incidents
just
where,
punish people.
we talk about what we've done. However,
I got
that is
to
not what
basically
valuable
be
for
the
players,
judge,
and
jury,
that's
and
cool, but
executioner.
no
One of the
lines there.
best
So
systems in
what we've
video
done
game
is we
history.
have, I've discussed
A
this
lot
with
of
Margaret, the
reports on
community
this
team,
guy.
the
Let's
CS
check his
team,
match
as well as the web
history.
team,
Oh
and
yeah,
we
he's
have now
trolling.
identified
Banned.
a scope
I got to
for what
decide.
that type of visibility will look like. However, it will take
It's kind
time
of
for
for
us to develop
Counter-Strike
that.
as
That is
well.
a
You would
highly
get
integrated
Overwatch.
system
You
that
could
requires
watch,
connections into the CS systems, that requires connections
or
into the web
like
page
Valve
system,
would tell
that
you, can you
requires
watch
connections
this
to a lot of
gameplay
different systems,
and help us
takes
decide
time
if
to
this guy's
develop.
cheating?
So in lieu of that time,
And you could
what we will
decide.
do is we will stand up a
I remember
knowledge base
that.
article, as Margaret described,
That is
that will
dope.
be regularly updated on some cadence that we determine, internally for.
Internally, I can share that what we're planning.
That's
if you
cool. Go
want,
ahead.
but
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
on Mondays we'll be updating it as our plan.
Yep. And so that will not contain, full account names or people's names or any personal identifying information. What it will contain, however, is, 1 or 2 letters of a particular account action, some minimal detail of what account action was taken and for a general reason of why and duration, right? And that will be now something that you can see. Now, To be fair, there has been a lot of, and I'm just going to say this, bullshit conjecture by different individuals for whatever reason who state that we don't take action against individuals. That is not true. We have issued literally thousands of account actions since the start of Alpha 2. Those come in the form of our normal account action progression, which is warnings, which is suspensions, which can be character deletions, which can be removal of items, depending on how that individual or account has engaged with some rule-breaking condition. The CS team is
Okay,
completely
people are getting
bifurcated.
spanked.
We have
Got it.
directors at this company that have purview over their departments, run those departments.
bam.
I have no personal relationships with any particular guild or individuals in the game. Certainly none that I would
That was
use
so
to
funny when
favorite
they were
any
saying in the-
individuals. I have said this. People can either
in the
take me at
chat,
that
the
word or
global
not. That's
chat.
cool. It's
I
very
know.
fine.
The
That is the
GMs
truth,
were
and we
part
will
of
now
Polar,
implement
and
this
that's why
process
Polar's
to
getting
give
away
you
with
better
bullshit.
No, their
visibility
guild
into
leader
what
got
those
banned,
types
I
of actions
heard.
are, because that is what, as a player base, you guys have asked for. And our job as a company is to deliver a product that you want, and that is part of the product. So this is a change that we'll be making. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and to remind people, if you see something that is suspicious, or you are experiencing something, or you see RMT, or you see anything that you think that a player is harassing you, anything that would be a player report, please put that to support. It's support.ashesofcreation.com. Send that to us. We investigate everything. Even like people telling us like, oh, we think this guild is doing something suspicious, right? We are going to look in the logs. We've looked at like every purchase that they made, every trade that they made to each other. And if you don't see actions taken on it, it's probably because those people
what's
are
weird?
legitimately doing those
Now that I
things
think
fairly.
about
They're,
it.
working really hard to get that gold, to trade that to their
These
guild
people
leader,
that are
to give
getting
that guild leader the
banned,
thing that they
it's
need to do.
basically
So it is definitely
minus
something that
$100.
we are taking seriously.
More than
and
that
obviously
for
from our
some
perspective
people.
on the design side, we want
I
to see
think
when people are
some
doing
the
suspicious
person
stuff.
who
And
got
like, how are
banned
they
was the
getting, how's that
Phoenix
happening,
Initiative.
right?
That's
But if you
5,000.
see an exploit, or if you experience an exploit, please /bug
Whoa.
that, and there's a little
shit.
exploit marker, mark that.
Like in the
if you need to do it one
alpha,
more
I
time,
can't
just to get to the
believe
first
there's
step for us,
people
we
out there
understand.
who
But
are
when you're doing it
so
like 50,000 times,
hell
you're
bent on
not,
winning
you're no
that they're
longer
willing to
just doing it for the
cheat
sake
on
of
an
you're trying
incomplete
to
game.
like test it, right? You are
Like,
now changing the way that the structure
it's
of the
just
system is going to
kinda-
work, because you're
it's
changing
so
the market,
crazy
or
to
changing
me.
whatever it might be that you're
I
doing
don't
it
even
50,000
care
times
that
when it's,
like
know it's not intended. So if there's something weird,
that kind of stuff
definitely bug it for
happens
us.
'cause
And
it's
like if you think it's an exploit, mark it as an exploit. If you have a player that
it's
you think
just
is doing something
doing it.
suspicious, send us a support
Just the
ticket.
way
If
it
you have
is, just the way
information
it
like a
works for
video,
them.
attach that. If
I
you have a screenshot,
guess.
attach that. That is very helpful for us. And we're also doing some active, not just reactive work as well, where we're looking at data and taking action based on anomalies that are happening as well. But we dig into those things because there are sometimes false positives. So we want to make sure that we're
People
working with
don't
the development team to
strive
go,
to be
hey, we're seeing this
skilled
thing.
at
Is
the
it
game. They
suspicious to you?
just
It's suspicious to
look
us.
for the
And then
exploits
they
that
can kind
make
of dig into
like the
what
game
actually
easier.
was happening with that
Yeah.
user and what was going on and whether it was actually an exploit or not. And sometimes we reach out to those users individually as well.
Now, I do want to make one last comment with regards to moderation and the community. We are still a small community. We're a large community from the perspective of a game in development, but from the perspective of a launched game of the magnitude and budget that we're creating Ashes of Creation with, we're still a relatively small community, right? We have 100-something thousand plus people that are in our Discord. We have a great following on a lot of social media channels, and obviously the brand awareness is high up there from an MMORPG perspective. Although sometimes we get our fair share of negative, positive, or neutral commentary. That's cool. But I would say that what I saw over the course of the last few weeks in Discord, or on Reddit or whatever, with regards to the unconstructive sentiment and feedback that we received, both targeting the development team, myself, the moderation team, or each other, was not acceptable. And we have enacted some changes in Discord in order to address that, including
Ooh,
word channels for
drama.
both the Shoal A2 users and the Lotharia A2 users to segregate that type of more robust conversations, we might call it. And we will now be using a heavier moderation hand when it comes to keeping discussion pertaining to the game, the testing
Basically,
environment,
they said if you want to fight with each other and just yell at each other, they created a separate channel for people.
I expect
They're just letting them do it.
reflect what it means to be an MMORPG gamer and an MMORPG community. We are
It's
building
because
something
it's
here
part of the
which is
game,
standing
right?
the test of
It
time
was
and takes
like, I guess,
Yeah.
bound to
that we want
happen.
for this
People
game.
want to
And
fight and
part of that
argue,
is
like
is
you
being
just
a
gave
good
them a
community,
space rather than
fostering
saying
that
no,
good
you can't do
community, and
that.
you are
I guess
all
it
a
makes
part of
sense.
that dynamic. You are an ingredient to that truth. So there is a level of responsibility, obviously,
they
on us
don't,
as the developers,
the
as
beefers
the
are gonna
managers of
find
the
a place
community to
for
ensure
it.
that that's
Yeah,
the
they'll
case.
take it
But
to
there
the
is
game.
also a level of responsibility for you as a participant, as our
Yep.
golden cohort, as our core audience, to make sure that you're helping us set the tone for future individuals who may join this community. So we expect this to be a partnership between you and us. We will take the feedback, we will enact on the feedback, we will make changes based off of that feedback, but maintain a level of civility, of respectfulness, both towards the development team, the moderation team, as well as other players, and do so in a way that ultimately will yield this successful outcome of Ashes of Creation, which is a game that
That's
we
pretty
obviously
W.
all love and care about and want to see come to fruition.
Yeah, I think that that's great, Stephen. I constantly always tell folks that one of the things that is going to help the success of Ashes of Creation is we invite other people, right? There's someone who comes into the community, they ask a question, and if you just troll them instead of giving them a genuine answer and helping them, that's the first experience that they may have with us as a community. And I think like it's not just on us as developers, it's us as like testers and players to also share that sentiment with those users and kind of guide them, right? Give them the direction that they need if they're asking a question, instead of trolling them about that thing. So it is a big responsibility on all of us. And when it comes to the rules for those new channels, there is some age restriction to that, as well as we are still going to apply all the other rules to it. It is just that Rule 6 is going to be a little bit more lax. But obviously, if it gets into like personal harassment or doxing or anything like that, we will still be taking action.
It's
on those
better to
counts.
having a
And I
vendor
just want to make sure
event.
that the
I know.
audience
I'm just
that is
saying it's
receiving
crazy
this
that we
message that I
even
just
have
gave,
to do that.
it is
Like
particularly
people
important
take
to
things
do
a
that
little
if
too
you are a leader in the
personally,
community.
which
That means if you're
I
a
think
content
it's
creator
fine.
voice,
But
if you're a guild leader, if you're, you know,
that's
shop
me.
caller, if
That's
you
me.
are the top dog and crate, you know,
That's you.
transiting, if you're the go-to person for, you know, fishing, whatever it is, right?
He's talking
You've made a
to
name and a
me?
reputation for yourself in the community. You're a leader in the community. I expect you to help me participate in
The
refining
pointing
this community
itself
to more
meme.
inviting, welcoming,
Me?
constructive
Me?
environment.
I
All
love
right.
that meme.
And with that, I know
It's all
we've
over
had
Hikaru.
a bit of a heavy
What?
heart with that one. I think all of us
I'm
care a
gonna
lot about Ashes of
tarnish
Creation. We
your
care
name
about
in the
the success of it.
community.
We care about the
How?
development.
I'm
And
gonna
it hurts
blacklist
the
it.
most whenever we hear people say
Smear
that we don't.
campaign.
So we are taking everything that you guys have, you know, shared with us into
That's
effect.
pretty
There's a
good
lot of
tea,
bug fixing
though.
happening.
Yeah.
And I know that these were just some
Infighting.
of the top topics. We'd be here all day if I went over everything. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys got the
Hysteria
insight into
guild
like the development
drama?
work that goes into
Oh
some of
my
these pieces that are
god.
not quick changes.
Oh
You know,
my
like Bill and Stephen
god.
has said, some of these are massive systems that are not completely
Andrew's
finished. That
being a
you know,
meanie?
balance is not going to be quite there right now.
Is Andrew being a
And you will
meanie?
see bugs, but we are working towards
Yeah,
fixing those. And we
Hikaru
hear your
cried
concerns
on
about them.
stream.
Um,
Is Andrew's being a
we
Oh
meanie?
my
have a
god.
big leadership
Being
meeting happening.
bullied?
We
Not
won't be specific on
clickbait?
time, so I am going to have to wrap this up.
I
But
can
with
imagine the
our outro, I
thumbnails
know one
right
of the big
now.
questions here has been continually people asking about wipes and stuff like that. We aren't planning to do any wipes right now. Don't worry, just keep playing. We have a lot of work that we're working towards, and you will see that happen on PTR. We may do wipes, but not on our Alpha 2 environments for now. And with that, you know, join us if you're interested in joining the Alpha 2 journey. Again, like Steven said, if you are looking for a final product, this is not for you. Come back when we're launched. Follow us on social. And come check out the live streams every once in a while. But if you are interested and you want to be part of the journey, you want to give feedback, you want to be in part of that early stage of creating Ashes of Creation, come join us and be part of the development process. And head on over to forums.ashesofcreation.com to give us any feedback. We also have our Discord, all of our social platforms. We're Ashes of Creation everywhere. We would love for you to follow us. We're pretty active on all of those platforms, and we engage with everybody as much as we possibly can with the team that we have. Thank you very much to all of you for being here and watching this. I know these are quite long and lengthy. I appreciate the people who summarize them for people who can't sit here and watch a 2-hour long stream. To Scott and Blair and Brian and Terrence and of course Bill and Stephen for your guys' time. I know it's very valuable. We have a lot to work on, and taking you away for this length of time is not ideal for development side, but for the player side, I'm sure you guys love the insight. Stay safe and healthy and have fun on Vera. We will be uploading this to YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, it will be available right when we end. And of course, leave a comment on our development update if you want to be potentially the spotlight comment, and make sure that you are a public subscriber so that we can see that you're subscribed. And with that, we will wrap up for our September development update. We'll see you guys all next month. Bye for some spooky
Thanks,
season
everyone.
fun.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, devs.
Thanks, devs.
Pretty cool.
All right. So give me your thoughts. I'd like to hear some closing thoughts about it.
I go last.
All right.
Well, as someone who hasn't really like played the game, it's kind of interesting to hear about like what's happening within the community. Like I think there's not much like gameplay updates other than like the summoner. Was it the summoner class that?
Right.
That's the
that
last
they were
one though.
showcasing?
Yeah. So all 8 classes will be
Okay.
in November, but they don't have the class mixing yet.
Oh, I see. But yeah, it was cool to see, and then this is like an introduction for me to see like how the class system works, and honestly, I really like that. Like you can like choose a combination, and there's like a bunch of them that you can try out. So that's really interesting. Also like the drama that's happening. I think like having a community that's like so sweaty, and they're committed enough to just argue that much to have the Discord admins create a new channel. That's pretty banger.
No, it's not just that. Like people take MMOs really seriously. I just got oh, let me send you a link for something. Like this is the guild accords that, but like our group is associated with a like a small guild alliance, and they created a PDF here. I wonder how I can send this to you. Yeah. But I think it's like really cool that there are things that people do in this game that like are really authentic, and like the relationships go beyond like simple role-playing stuff. But like the people take these documents and stuff like pretty seriously, and it's not just like a couple hundred people, it's like thousands of people will all adhere to these documents and stuff that get created.
Well,
But But yeah, you said you were kind of interested in the like lore and stuff of the game, right?
Yes, and I kind of got to see some of that
Yeah.
with like the harbingers and stuff.
I
That's
d-
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they gave more stuff on it, but they said it's not going to be like a WoW where you can just read everything off the wiki. It's probably going to be more like you have to look for
Hands-on,
it and
like
yeah,
immersive.
you have to find it in game. It's going to be like a first time for everybody kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed that experience because most of the time you just learn about everything beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Mao?
Well, for the dev update itself, I'd like to again touch on like the actual live stream and the way they, answered questions and talked about things. I really like the format. One of the things I wish they did more or better was having more footage of pretty much anything, even if it's like alpha footage and things like that. Just picture slideshow made it to where I kind of like zoned out, and I feel like I was more focused whenever the shaman gameplay or summoner gameplay was on the screen. I felt like I was more like immersed in what they were saying, even if it wasn't related to that. So I kind of wish the live stream itself was like a little bit more like flashy, I guess. But I liked their format in talking about the different topics, and then the AMA at the very end was really nice. I think again, a lot of people are taking what they do for granted because I play a bunch of games. All right, I play a bunch. I'm not a huge MMO player, but I do play games. And I've seen development exactly like this, where it's very hands-on, it's very back and forth, the dev team listens to the players listen to the dev team, and it's like a handshake emoji throughout the production process. And I think that's really cool. And gaming companies need to do that more. And I think the game has a lot of room for success because of that. I have like high hopes. It's one of the games I'm definitely interested in. Every time I watch something about it, it is like another like desire, like a little bit of motivation to play it.
Yeah, they have in regards to that, I think they have like especially Steven has a really flowery way of speaking that just like elongates the thing. Like usually when we talk, it's very more like, I wonder if he talks like that in his meetings too, because like back when I was in the business world, it's very much like everyone spoke like that. But nowadays it's just like I'm just so clear and concise. Like, are you working on this thing? Yes, and that's my answer. But it's like, yeah, we're this and that, and like this is a development game of like I do that to extend myself just to like draw out my streams because I'm not writing an essay here, but it's like. It was pretty much all the answers that he gave were like, yeah, we're aware and we're working on it. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But you could have said that to literally everything, and we could have got like 20 more questions in. And if there was something that was like more important, like it's fine though. Like it's just that's just the way it is. And
I agree with that.
Yeah, like everything that they showed, it just makes me want to play the game more. I totally agree with that. But he did say that he shared this open development process stuff to other people in the industry, and that a lot of people would never do the same because just how much they get crucified for like displaying an unfinished game. And honestly, I'm kind of agree with him at this point because it's just like, man, people are ungrateful as heck. Like
yeah, they are.
And
they are savages.
They certainly are. And if I had to deal with that, I could not. Like, ugh. The drama, fine. Like, guild fighting, fine. It was just like, oh my god, this person did get banned. The devs are favoritizing, like, this particular guild. And I was like, maybe they're not. Maybe they're not cheating, but, like, people will shout it from the rooftops. So, it's very, like, double-edged on that end.
Oh, sure.
And Andudu.
It was funny watching the global chat when that was happening.
Yeah.
It was entertainment while I was just smacking away at rocks. I would see, oh my god, Polar is cheating, they're abusing things, they're standing in places so they can get resets off the mobs and they don't get targeted and they're just killing people outside the city. And then next day, oh my god, the GMs are part of Polar. That's why they're not getting banned. They keep abusing this thing. and then they actually got smacked.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I think it was Polar, right? The one that was like abusing certain
Yeah.
spots to not get aggro by the guards or something, so they could kill people in the city. Like, I don't remember. For the
Are they
war
doing
efforts.
that? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And there were people also complaining like, "Oh, I'm just trying to play the game, and there's like 5 high-level dudes just camping me here and like killing me every single time." And the only thing that people would say was just, "Unlucky, dude. You're in the wrong town, wrong guild, I guess. You're part of the war effort."
Yeah. And it does
Which
end
was
up like
brutal,
that.
I guess.
It is pretty brutal. Because I know Kichi had that issue too. He was going to play the game with us. And he's like, "Oh, I made my fresh character, level 5." Comes out of the Riverlands and gets instantly camped by like people 5 levels above him. Like, what are you doing? What are people doing there? Like, just go do your own thing, you know? He's not taking mobs, he's not taking gear, like he's just moving. And he's getting camped? Whose idea was this?
Yep.
There needs to be more like new player friendly stuff, but that's a different gripe that I have.
I think, like, I understand why you would be getting killed during between quotations war efforts, but I think if the level difference is that high, it should not count towards a war. That is not a war effort. You're just a fucking bully. Like, it's like, yeah, dude, I killed peasants. That was cool. Like, war effort. Definitely did something with that.
Yeah, I think like it is kind of the case. Like a level 10 or a level 11 with adept gear can destroy and initiate at level 9. But like a level 10 versus a level 12, it's like a lot closer. There's just like power spikes that if you're not fortunate enough to be close to it, it's just not going to work for you. But it is what it is. Like, I'm going to be gone for two weeks, like I said, and then when I come back, I'm gonna play the game, and it's gonna feel probably the same. But I think the two things actually I'm looking forward to the most. Number one, I need the content creator program to come online. Like, I don't know why they're waiting so long for this. Like, I don't really know what's keeping it. Do they have a director for it? Like, I don't understand why nothing's going on that front, because it's something she said is like, it's coming for literally like 2.5 years, I think, for the amount of time that I've been waiting for it. But it was just like, apply, we'll get to it. And I'm like, you know, if you had better contact with your content creators, you could probably change the messaging a little bit better. Like, if you could just have someone that tells content creators like, hey, this is the thing that we're doing. Like, you don't have to tell us much, but it'll be like, yeah, we're working on it. And then the content creators say that, then they're going to go out and say, yeah, they're working on it. They're not going to say, are they working on it? Do they even care? Because that's what people are doing right now. It's very like, it's very like, I feel like they keep thinking this game is going to stand on its own. It's going to be so great that like people won't have anything bad to say about it when it comes out, because it'll be like the perfect game or whatever. Yeah, and it's just like, everything leading up to it is going to be the thing. And the things that Steven are doing right now, I think are great. Like all the production stuff leading up to it, it's fine. But like the thing he's experiencing is that like these the better the communication is, the better the lens that people are going to view you are going to be. Like, it's going to be better. Because there are people out there who got turned away from this game without ever touching it. If I didn't tell you guys about this, I doubt any of you would ever play. Or maybe Mao. But Kuro and Andrew, I doubt would ever touch. And then, but if you go on YouTube and then you look at the first video that you see on the list, and it's like, Ashes of Creation, this isn't done yet, it's not complete, it's not looking good, it's a scam, blah, 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 blah. Then people aren't going to even try the game, because they just see what they see on YouTube. Like, they don't really check the game out itself. And I just think that's kind of rough. But that's the first thing. And the second thing, I would really love a roadmap. I know they get burned for this quite often, but like, I don't know, just saying like, you know, we're gonna do this for like a year. Like, we're gonna be feature complete in like a year. It's not a hard year, it's like a soft year. I would still be okay with that.
Right.
So,
something concrete that you can expect.
Yeah, and I know like they were 2 months off for Alpha 3, I think, or Alpha 2 Phase 3. Apparently they got like dragged for that one, but I don't know. I didn't really complain about it because, I mean, it seems like for people who got nothing else going on and are only singularly waiting on this game, a 2-month delay is going to seem like a century. But for me, like, or me, Anju, Kuro, Mao, like you guys, we're all playing our own game and doing our own thing and having our own content. I'm not like, I can't bank my stuff on this game because I don't even have the program to tell me where things are going yet. So
Right.
it's just, once it comes out though, I do intend to make content for the game. Hopefully they accept me to the program. Fingers crossed. And yeah, those are my current thoughts. But I'm still excited to try out the game. It's looking better and better. Sports fishing looks cool. The Harbingers look cool. And yeah.
The sphincter looks cool.
I only have like
Okay.
little things to comment on it that I would like them to change. But nothing major. Like I don't think
Yeah.
there's any major changes that I would request. But for example, just small things, right? For the fighter class specifically. You know how abilities have like certain animations and like flashy stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, no matter what weapon you're using, this is just a small thing. Keep in mind. No matter what weapon I'm using, any ability that has an animation is a sword. So I could be using a two-handed mace, and I use an ability and a sword shows up. I would like them to change that. But just that would be nice. Like, oh, instead of a sword, it's, you know, the actual thing that I have in my hand, smacking people, not like a orange sword that just appears in my hand regardless of what I'm doing.
Yeah, you could label that as a bug. I mean, I don't know if it's a bug or not, but
Also, my character's nose breaking all the time for no reason. I don't know why that happens. It just changes back to default settings. Sometimes people are bald. I don't know why. Sometimes they have default hair. I don't know why.
you're looking at people too much. I don't even notice it. Like, I just walk out.
I mean,
Sounds like a
Yeah,
typical mouse strain. Sometimes bald, sometimes normal.
yeah.
Who knows?
So, just think about it for a second. Like, there's not much to look at the moment because, you know, the game isn't complete. The graphics aren't like insane. The only things you can look at is what you're smacking and the other people around you. So when you look around you, it's just bald people, bald default looking people. It's like,
I don't know about that. You mythic rated before, right? Like, did you zoom your camera all the way out?
yes, of course.
Yeah, like I don't even see the other people around me when I do that.
But there's like there's downtime. Like in
okay, the downtime, I guess. While I'm doing
it's not like
things,
you're
it's not really
always
something
doing
I'm paying
something.
attention-
Like,
I'm always doing
sometimes we're
something.
waiting for people to get to the dungeon that we're doing, like, or just
Check
I
out
don't know.
my
Somebody has to
nose.
go eat.
Is it broken?
So yeah, like, oh, I'm gonna just leave my camera at a nice angle for my character. You know, like just looking at, oh yeah, look at my gear. I kind of look cool or whatever. And then you just see your character just looks default bald, broken nose. Like, okay.
Yeah. Someone tell Steven, like, just give us a pretty option. Like, if we want to be, I don't know, hot K-pop star looking thing, we can do that instead of like this rough realism thing. I get it, it's a style, but it's not a style for everybody.
Not everyone is ugly. Like in reality, even if it's like realistic, there's bound to be different looking people. I think you should be able to be different by choice. Like you can choose to be whatever you want.
I would say like a non-ugly Vec. I don't know. Because like I'm okay with this. This is like not the biggest deal for me because I'm just gonna throw a mask over it anyways. But you know how
I always talk about the helm.
face?
you can
What's up?
you can customize it a lot. There's sliders. There's like everything, but it's just like I don't know. Maybe
if
I'm
you
just
want to
not
look
gonna...
good, you have to spend a decent amount of time on the creator right now.
There's not like a
It's
preset
not like you can just-
pretty option.
Yeah, you can't choose a preset. There's no preset to look good. They all kind of look Epega.
It's okay. Just throw a mask on it and then call it a day. That's what I do.
No.
I don't. I toggle
Can't
my
do
helm off.
that.
That's like a massive appeal of Final Fantasy, though. It's like
Mhm.
looking good,
Looking
being
good.
attractive, and
Yeah,
taking
like
pictures.
every Korean MMO ever. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of like MMO culture.
I think so too. They like you should have the ugly realism options, but also just like maybe something else on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it just that like Talner? I haven't seen a pretty Talner. Like, or not Talner, a Vec. They're trolls. Like, I don't know. Can you have what does a pretty troll look like? I don't know. I can't even really say.
That's subjective.
Yeah, it's pretty subjective. But even like ugly is pretty subjective. But there's certain things that like
No,
your
these
nose is-
motherfuckers are actually ugly. Like
Okay, buddy, you can't say that.
Show a picture of your character right meow.
You don't
Tell
wanna
the
see
car
that.
that's your opinion.
Oh,
Tell
that's
him.
another thing though. The cosmetic that I have currently, it's when you put on the crown, it makes me bald. That's a bug.
He does. He looks so ugly.
W crown.
It's okay. The hair is like there wasn't like a straight hair option either. It was just like frizzle.
There's 3 hair options right now.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
3. That's it.
They're different based on the character, I think.
Yes.
You dropped
really
this
like
king. It's a crown and a wig.
What else can I think of? I guess gear progression already got covered. Crafting, I hope they fix it. I don't care if there's like specific materials for regions. That makes sense. I just don't like the fact that you're dropping me things not for my region. That makes no sense.
Yeah. If you play TFT, you'll understand how that works. Like dropping a single item on a character, it can change it, but if you hold on to the item, it might be better on a different character later. It's kind of like
Wait,
that.
what are we talking about?
Because like remember when we were grinding and you were doing like no damage to the mobs?
What are you talking about? I always did big damage.
No.
Flex.
It's compared to we had Honor go into town and buy the adept gear, and then he like tripled his damage output. Like the gear progression is so night and day that
I think I mean, just as every other MMO, I think as long as we just get weapons for damage dealers, that's gonna be a huge boost. Because like the starter gear is
Okay.
like your weapon does from 50 to 80 damage, and then the next tier is like 500. Like out of nowhere, it's just such a huge jump.
1,000. Yeah, and then the next
Yeah,
step
and
is
then-
radiant.
Yeah, 3k damage. Like, and the mobs, I guess that's the issue. The game is expecting you to have that at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
So everything scales to that damage in terms of HP. So you're just stuck there like, well, I didn't get the weapon, so killing this one thing is gonna take me like 30 minutes.
Well, that's the thing. If you have a guild that can craft it for you and have it ready for you when you hit that level, then you'll have the thing. But if you don't have a gear and you try to play it solo, it's gonna suck. You just have to get lucky.
Yeah, and that's another problem. I don't think the solo player experience should suck. I think some people get into the game and they're like trying to, you know,
It's gonna
I
suck.
agree.
They said it's gonna suck.
it shouldn't. That's the problem. It shouldn't suck.
I think they should do more for solo players too. I don't know how they would
Like,
do it when they bank everything about interconnectedness and stuff like that. I don't know how, but I don't know.
But that's the thing. Like, if it's like a game where you're given free choice and you're supposed to be self-sustainable to an extent, like I get it, you can't be an entire community by yourself, but you should be able to be your character and be fine just being you in like this world that they're creating, right?
Well, what do you
like-
want to do? Like, you can do whatever you want. Typically, it's just like you won't accomplish much on your own because there's like 20 people doing one thing and then you doing this one other thing. Of course, you're gonna go 20 times slower.
No, I understand that. It's just leveling up, which is just, you know, something that you have to do. Like, I get it that there's optional things.
You can fish. AFK fish
Because-
is 25.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, why? I don't think that's fun. The game is supposed to, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be entertaining or like engaging. And if
Yeah.
you're just suffering because you don't have friends, then that kind of sucks.
Dang, seems like you gotta find some friends, huh? Like, have been telling you to get on the grind on Mondays and playing Apex? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah. Honestly,
I'm not talking about myself because I just don't like the idea that they expect you to sit in a call with 20 people in order to like actually do anything relevant or entertaining.
I'm okay with it. I actually kind of like that, actually. The, like, group aspect. Maybe not 20, but, like, a group of 8. Having a leveling group and stuff like that. You just get on in the evening and play together. That's fun to me. I like that a lot.
I don't know. I feel like, from my experience,
Just try it. Try it.
I've tried it. I know what it's like.
Okay, but try with me, Kuro, Mao, and you. And then, like, 4 others.
That's the other thing. Like for PvP, I'm used to smaller groups being more effective in certain scenarios. So
Depends how coordinated you are, I suppose.
yeah, that's the thing. But I don't feel like this is one of those types of games. Like the more I play it, I feel like it's just a gear check for most things, which is kind of sad.
You could get gear checked, I suppose. But that's the. I
Is
don't think
that-
that's the intention. It's like two groups of equal gear come across the battlefield and then they fight. Like I think that's how you're supposed to be. But if like one group doesn't have gear and you fight a gear group that does like take the time to get all the gear and the consumables and stuff, they're gonna roll you.
Yeah, there's a huge gear gap, but if there's like I feel like skill should play a role into it, not just because this guy has one tier above me, he should immediately just win. I don't
Nah.
think that's how it should work.
I don't think so either. And I don't think it's that bad, but it's very like it was that bad in BDO. I remember like if someone was like had 2 more rocks than you or something, they rolled you. It was so stupid. Like no
Yeah,
matter
that's
how
kinda
well you played, they would just destroy you. But I don't think it's that case for this game. I've seen people do pretty good with like less gear. But anyways,
I hope so. I really hope so, because they're making like PvP this whole. He just said it like during the thing, like yeah, they use pickups because PvP is a big part of this game. And I hope they make it so that there's like a certain level of skill expression into it, besides just I smack my buttons differently than you, like a different timing, and that's it. Like, oh, if I use this skill this way, then I don't know, my character will move, and I can probably like immune certain things during this animation, animation canceling, interrupting, stunning out at the right time, like the interactions between skills. Like as long as that exists, maybe it'll be fun. But if it's just, you know, I
no,
killed
it's
them.
not
Yeah,
like
I
that.
hope
It's not like that at all. I feel like it's just the class you play, maybe.
But warrior is supposed to, like, fighter is supposed to be one of the most intricate classes.
I don't know about that.
It is supposed to be. You're supposed to be the fighting class.
Yeah, you.
It's in the name, fighter. you're the guy that fights. The guy that's supposed to be good at fights.
Oh, I forgot to ask. What classes are you guys playing? Mao and Kuro. Wait, Mao's gonna play Rogue.
Rogue Mage.
Yeah, Rogue Mage, obviously. Just like
Yeah.
D&D.
Yeah. Stealthy caster.
Cleric tank. He's gone.
He's dead.
Yeah. But I think I got enough for today. Oh, sorry.
Nice.
Did you want to talk about something else?
Nothing. I mean, right now it's just the base classes. So I guess when, you know, the subclasses come into play, maybe we'll see more stuff, more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I'm praying we don't run into any cleric tank players, because those are not gonna die ever.
Just don't focus them. Easy.
Oh. Yeah, it's so annoying. He just sticks to you like a little.
That's
bug.
their job. Yeah.
He's just annoying the entire time. He just stuns you and slows you, and you're like, just get off of me, please. And he's just there like smacking you. Die. He's just like flicking you in the forehead with his little damage.
They're so funny.
Are you gonna play that?
No, I'm gonna go double cleric.
You can double down on your class?
Yeah. The 64, it's 8x8. If you couldn't, there would be 8 less classes.
Oh, so there's fighter?
Yeah, you could go double fighter. Did you see the chart? Hold on,
No,
does the
what
chart
does
say?
fighter turn into?
Good question.
Warrior? Because they all have like names, right?
Yeah, they do. Why is this so... It's so blurry. Are you gonna go more rogue or more mage? No.
That's kind of where I've been torn. I don't know if I want to start as rogue and then add mage augments, or if I want to be mage and then add like the rogue augments as
Okay.
my secondary.
So
So
double...
I'm not sure yet.
Double fighter is weapon master. if you're going to go rogue mage, it's called a night spell. But if you're mage rogue, it's called a shadowcaster.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Probably mage rogue. Probably shadowcaster. Because I think mage is like that's the damage I want to deal, right? That's my DPS, and then I want to have rogue like abilities and movement. So I think that makes the most sense. Start as mage.
Yeah, and mine will be called High Priest. I might go Oracle too. I don't know. Some of the cleric ones are super cool. It really depends how the augments lean out.
Templar sounds cooler than High Sword.
High sword, not the low sword.
Not the low sword. Blade Dancer also sounds cool, but I don't think it's gonna work out. Fighter Bard.
Oh my god, it's actually called Shadow Lord.
Wait, that's insane. Oh, rise. He was right.
Yeah, it is. Rogue Summoner, Shadow Lord.
Yeah. Is that where you're gonna go, Kuro?
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, fair enough.
He just wants to say arise.
Hey, Woomster.
Yo, my username is gonna be XX Shadow Lord XX.
Do it.
Flying a Shadow Lord.
Underscore arise.
Underscore rise is crazy.
Alright, well, that's definitely enough footage for today. So thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah, W Dev
of
update,
course.
W rundown.
If you guys are interested in getting the game, don't forget my affiliate code is linked down below and !ashes. And if you guys would like to play, it is currently $100 to get into Alpha 3. However, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee on it if you don't like the game, or if you don't even play it at all. There's no minimum time requirement. Yeah, you can just straight up refund the game if you don't like it. But just keep in mind that it's going to be in Alpha for probably the next year or so. But hey, I've been waiting for this game for about 7 to 8 years. Another year and a half, another 2 years, it does not matter to me. I'll still be here. Still be a VTuber. But thank you guys so much for coming to stream today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Are you going to keep streaming, Mao?
Yeah.
Oh, let me read into you.
Hollow Knight Gaming.
Sheesh.
Ooh, where are you? Where are you?
I have the dash, and I also have the wall jumps. I'm still pretty early game. I think I fought 2 bosses.
How's the Mantis Lord?
I don't think I fought whatever that is. Spoilers! What is the Mantis
Oh my
Lord?
god, I can't believe you spoiled.
Wait, no, the Mantis place? I thought that's where you get the double dash. Or double,
Yeah, thank you
wait,
guys
got
so
the
much for joining me
double
today.
jump?
Bye,
Yeah, I
Reno.
got double
Bye,
jump
Rio.
at, like, this
Have a good night's
weird-
sleep. Bye, Rin.
I don't
Bye,
know,
Sir
like
Hay.
wooden ship looking
Bye,
place.
Woomster. Bye,
with,
Shiramuku.
like,
Bye,
bridges
Sunfish. Bye,
and
Tay.
doohickeys.
Bye, Dino. Good night, Yasha.
Mm.
Got my raid message? You please use raid message 1. If not, please use raid message 2. Lynn, if you're interested in the MMO, please give
Yeah, I
me a
remember.
shout. And yeah,
Me neither, it's been 2 weeks.
have a great night, you guys. I will see you all tomorrow.
I hope
Bye-bye.
you're
Tomorrow's my
gaming.
last day, so I hope to see you all there.
Thank you. Alright, goodbye gamers.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Andre, you wanna play Apex?
Yeah, sure, let's go.
No way.
I need to stream.
Dude, I gotta get on Apex.
Oh.
I did download it when Andrew invited me to another person's Discord server, and then I didn't end up playing because he disappeared.
You wanna play with us?
You're gonna have to carry me like really hard, you know?
We can play Wildcard.
What's that? Oh my god, Wildcards? The VTuber group?
Yeah. That's where we're No, it's a game where you don't die. You can't die.
You can't die?
Like, the only way to die is if all of, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, if all of us die, we're dead. But, like, as long as one of us is alive, we respawn us after a certain amount of time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. It's much more fast paced and fun. Methinks.
You think you thunk. You think I thought? I thought I had to go out
I'm-
today to return my thing, but I didn't.